But coming off of that big rally that we saw going into the weekend, bit of congestion, definitely consolidation at top end of the range. Not necessarily a bad thing. We'll have a look at how the S&P 500 is shaping up here so far this afternoon. A lot more green on this board than the last time I looked at it. Still the energy group jumping off the page here as very, very strong so far this afternoon. VLO up 7%, Devon up 6.7%, OKE about 4% there. But nice move in crude oil once again. Some of these stocks a little bit stronger than the oil contract itself. We'll have a look at oil coming up here. I want to mention semiconductors here in the tech group doing quite nicely this afternoon as well. SEDG up more than 4%, Enphase, ON to name a few, having a really good day, but being offset by some of the software makers still in negative territory. Healthcare stocks, a lot more green in this group than we saw at the end of the morning at 11 a.m. there when we wrap things up for the day. Down here, utility stocks as well, back in positive territory, but everything else kind of offsetting. EA, Take-Two, LYV, Match, and the communications group all in negative territory. There we go. Now I can show you this. 0.4 to the downside for the S&P, the Dow 0.3, NASDAQ 0.9 in negative territory. You can see bottom end of the board, Bitcoin and Ethereum back in the red as well. As I said, though, a little bit of maybe constructive consolidation to put a positive spin on things, I guess, after what we saw going into the weekend. Definitely not a bad thing. Hope you're well. We're going to jump back in time a little bit here, have a look at what we were looking at in the pre-market. Make sure you're joining us every day at 8:30. We get you set every morning for the open at 9:30. Neil's going to lead the way this afternoon with a look at one of his trades.
Yes, we're going to talk some AMC, and one of the reasons why this is the best trading community out there is a bit of a missed opportunity at the open. But you know what? When you see something moving, you got to be able to take advantage of it. Last week, there was discussion about AQN announcing their short position in AMC and basically telling the apes to come at them. Well, what do you think was going to happen on Monday after that? So, I mean, went to the upside. Now, I actually had forgotten all about this when some people in the chat were mentioning AMC is moving, it's moving. But the first thing you looked at was just go back, and I'm showing you the 60-minute, but all you care about is last week, man. You had this 13 top, you had this 13.20, sort of failed breakout there, earlier on last week, and those gave you two sort of obvious lines in the sand. And the real thing that was appealing about both those entry points was just how bullish the move was at the open. Essentially what you had was a break of the low right at the open. And look, you had a pretty significant break of the pre-market lows twice. And then look at the strength at which it comes back. And it's not just how you get that wick off bottom there. It is the way in which it responds, which is reclaiming the high and then consolidating into that high and then breaking out from there. Once I've seen that, okay, well, not really looking for shorts, looking for the entry into the long side of the position. And that's where we get back to that 13 and that 13.20, because you had the breakout at that first 13 level. It gave you the nice scalp, but then you get that capitulation candle. And as it came back in, I was saying on the live show, this is an opportunity to be very patient with it, because all you're looking for is a consolidation confirming that there's going to be support at that previous resistance level at 13 even. Realistically, a lot of times you will see these little wick off tops on an individual week where you get that break and it doesn't really go very far, but the real resistance was at that 13 even. And that's what you're hoping can come in and be that consolidation support. So that's exactly what happens. It gives you a couple of scalp trades. There is then even another consolidation right at the previous high, which is going to set you up again for a double top breakout. Now, you can sit there and if you have a one and done style trade, you can always be in at 13 and just try and hold for the dollar. There's nothing wrong with that. When you're an active trader, sometimes it makes sense to anticipate that, hey, if it comes back and makes the same high, I might be able to get back in off VWAP, off of 13.10, something along those lines. So we're going to get out. If it makes the break, we'll just take the breakout, scalp some, buy the dip, and then rinse and repeat essentially the same trade we did before. That way, regardless of which way this occurs and gets to 14 even, straight there, or pulling back in, we're going to have a piece of that trade. And if it pulls back in, we'll do better than just actually holding the entire time. So once we are through that 1340, we're essentially cruising for the next dollar up. And there's nothing really all that scientific about it. It was a 13 area break. Looking at 14 as that nice round even number. There was a tiny bit of size there, so it was worth it. When it goes parabolic into 14, easy out to get 19s. And I did make an attempt sort of shorting 98s in front of 14 even, but it was so bullish at the time. I mean, you didn't even see 14 on the offer on AMC today. It was at 99, it was refreshing 99, and then it was at 02s. And that's the way that worked. You got to have a stop order if you're attempting a short along those lines, or you have to be willing to hold it against you. And even then, even if you shorted 14s holding against you, it still hasn't proven to be all that great a trade, about 1-to-1 right now, unless you got it a little bit higher. As a matter of fact, I don't see the trend is broken just yet. Still an opportunity for this to be making a run to 15. But the moral of the story is here, you don't have to have had the long off the open to find yourself into the trend. A lot of times I'd be sitting there looking for the short opportunities, but I didn't see anything obvious that said these were levels that should be shorted, and a very bullish open. I mean, if you dare the apes to come at you, what do you expect to happen Monday morning? Sometimes just go with the trend.
We preach it all the time. A very good example of an opportunity that pops up in the middle of the day, and you got to be able to shift your focus and change direction as opportunities are presented. Great move on AMC. Once again, back to the upside, 12-13%. That is the link, guys, to the watch list we send out every day. Make sure you grab that and join us, as I mentioned, in the pre-market. This SSR has been a wild stock so far today. I just saw it popped up again on a volume scanner there just above that last little pivot. Now 5%. This was down 20 or so at the lows after halting a couple times to the downside. If you missed it, there was news. They have a mine. It's a mining company. They have a mine in Turkey. There was a cyanide leak. They got it cleaned up. No one was hurt. Nothing negative happened. So almost, guys, right back up for SSRM. As I mentioned, though, it is a bit of a sideways kind of day for the market for most stocks, but it doesn't mean there aren't tons of opportunities.
Speaking of, I mean,
what's up?
As you said that, I just got long in Robinhood for the first time today. We talked about, we just broke the high. Well, I'm pretty sure I did mention in the midday show, I threw it in the chat, that you had a double top on Robinhood at 840. But look, another sort of bullish reversal, I suppose. It puts that W shape, and I wasn't trading this. Obviously, we're looking for, we're looking at Coinbase and a heck of a lot of other names, but that's another bullish move. I mean, they got an upgrade, and then you have them flush, find some volume, find a consolidation off 820. I should have had an 820 long if I was paying more attention, but the longer it held up here at 40s, I said, okay, we can also look at the breakout. It was Goldman Sachs upgrade. In addition to it being a double top today, you also are looking at Friday's high being broken currently on Robinhood. So we'll give it a few points, see if it can't get to that 850 level before we take a little bit of a piece out. But yeah, I mean, sometimes an upgrade matters. I'm not going to get into the whole whether I think they deserve an upgrade based on the logic of their downgrade of Coinbase. I'm not sure that makes a heck of a lot of sense, but reality is the level break is the level break, and the market has just held the bottom, so not a bad place to take an entry point. If we can start to ride off these lows, I'll take something which is showing relative strength.
Yeah, no, for sure. Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, so I'm still in this Amazon short, if you're welcome. And by the way, hit the like button because this is the new show, so we start at 0 again. So if you've already hit it again. There, I just hit it again myself. So hopefully you guys can hit the like button there. I mean, I like the show. Okay, but anyways, Amazon, we were talking about shorting that name, and it was against us for a bit, but not for a very long time. Amazon did come back up to the upside. Our average price at that time, when we got all these three fills, was 115 flat. So, we waited and we were very, very patient. You guys saw it was 114.96. I remember that quite clearly. Now, of course, it shows 115.25, and that's our averaged in price. So you can see we go first in, first out. So if this is what I have left. So now it's $1.50 in the money, but we just took a piece out on Amazon, as you can see right there at 63, as that was the bottom. So we sat there very, very patiently, let it come all the way back down. Now we have a small piece left on Amazon, and again, I just thought Amazon, although it's been a good name, it's just gone a little too far, too fast the other way now. So you could see here Amazon, a nice little move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight up days. Yeah, that's a little too many up days there, Amazon. So we'll see where it wants to go from here. Hopefully back down. I just feel like the consumer's not strong. We've talked about that over and over. We're going to get that confirmation from Nike as well tonight, and then we'll see where we go. But for right now, I really think that Amazon continues its slide back down. This is a name that I have here on the short side. So let's see where Amazon goes. That's my short. And then the long, I mean, I've already tweeted this out, man. I can't scalp better than this, to be honest with you. Long here, I mean, I don't know what makes this look any better, but long here down to 168, a bunch of outs, and now we hold this $1 in the money as we just took a 170 out off of 168.40. So Meta and Amazon, the only two positions I have in right now, and I like both of them. So we'll find some more names for you, so don't worry about that. But for right now, Meta and Amazon, short, long, and the Meta name is just the repeat. I've gotten into that, but the Amazon is the same trade from the open.
We were talking tech in the pre-market as well. Top of the watch list, in fact, was technology. I was just noticing Apple here, guys, basically back to exactly, in fact, where we ended the day on Friday, dead flat. But I mean, I kicked things off this afternoon with, you know, this is constructive in the sense that we're holding higher and not giving back. You know, what happened Thursday and Friday going into the weekend.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
I just went long Apple.
Yeah, it's relatively strong. Like, there's no question about it. And the fact that it's holding the bottom at the same time, 3,900 is holding on the ES, S&P 500, and 12,000 is holding on the NASDAQ. But those are both in red territory, right? So when you hold the low, and I apologize for the wicks on the chart, there's some dark pool prints. I'd have to clean that up in a minute. But when you get a bottom like that on a relatively strong name, that's better support than the market. And there's no, the market's unlikely to take out these lows with Apple holding it up. So, you know, that's kind of, you should have Apple up if you're trading anything that is going to follow the market a little bit, just because if it does not hold, it has been relatively strong all day long, and you want to see if that can happen. I am in a Meta short, but this was not the one we wanted from the morning. Just to quickly go over to it here, I wanted 72s. It never quite got to that price, but once it showed it was relatively weak, it popped to 170 and held the 170 mark a couple of times. And when I saw that, I just decided to go in front of that 70. I have scalped it. It's less than $1 in the money or so, but if it flushes, the market breaks the lows, I'll take this down to the low of the day. But my stop is at the 170. This isn't the short that we're looking for in the morning off of 172 area.
No, I mean, I just talked about Meta, so I'm long, Neil's short. That's fine. Doesn't really matter for us. And then right here, Apple. So you started with Apple, and Brendan and I agree, man. I mean, we've been looking at Apple all day here. We had a nice trade off the morning, off these dips. This was wrong. I told you every single time. Well, it was actually fine. It was actually right. We wound up taking some out, but we didn't take it all out. Because the problem is when you take these breakouts in the morning, like this is just a pre-market break of 143 there, like it really needs to keep going. And if it doesn't, you know, so I'm gonna try to learn that lesson next time. But we did take a nice win, but then we had to average it down all the way, and we were able to get it down here, bang, bang, bang. Then it fell down, and that's where we took a piece out and then got the rest out on the upside. So we did have to respect that 141.50. It's gonna look very similar to that BOBA trade that we had on, right? Where it goes down and we kept 141.50 as our out. And then do we have BOBA on there? Yeah, we do. Okay, so we'll talk about BOBA when it comes through. But that broke 141.50 and we wound up getting out, but not all of it, and then took the rest out on the upside. I wish we did that with BABA. It looks like the bottom here is 141 for Apple. So you see 141.72. And then Brendan was just like, hey guys, Apple's kind of near these bottoms, kind of where we opened up and where we closed out there on Friday, which is that 141.50. So, you know, muscle memory, got to remember that we liked that order there. So we'll do that again. So we'll sit here, we'll take that 141.70 or so, give this one a little bit more room, at least down to 141 and change, see if we can respect that right now. But this is a very, very small position for Apple. So we are Apple long now, and we're long at 141 straight here, 75. So we just took it now. We'll wait to see where it goes. But yeah, pretty sideways action today for Apple. Obviously only down up now 0.6 when the market's down pretty badly, right? So that's why I like Apple long for relative strength. Let's see where we go.
Just checking on Bitcoin once again, back to, I mean, basically where we started the day. It's negative, but only just. Coinbase, on the other hand, day lows. So Goldman doesn't like Coinbase, but Goldman does like Robinhood today on the upgrade and downgrades board anyways. But Yeah, going to a sell here from Goldman, guys, on Coin, if you missed it.
Yeah. Look, I don't even want to get into the logic of.
I mean, I wanted higher prices, but unfortunately, we weren't able to get those on Coinbase today.
That's the problem. That was the entire problem with Coinbase this morning is the levels upside were so good.
Yeah.
At least that's what they looked like. And when we talk about the levels, here's what I mean on the 15-minute. Like you had this one single break above the 61, 62 area on Friday, and then you're gapping back down below it. So it's just screaming at you to want to short off those levels. But sometimes the weaker the stock is or the stronger, you might not get the bid if it's strong, and you might not get that chance at the offer that you wanted on Coinbase. And that's essentially what happened this morning, is it barely got through 60 and then just absolutely flushed. And then even that 59, which was the pre-market low, which I said after it broke, if we can get that price, we'll just take that price short. And then I didn't get it. I chased it one time at 57 for an in and out attempt here, but that was no good either. So sometimes you can have the direction that you want to trade, but you don't quite structure it right. It is what it is. Like, I'm not going to sit there crying over spilt milk. I'd rather miss the trade than trade it incorrectly. And ultimately, this might have been a missed opportunity. 55 looks like it might hold. I mean, 56 is currently holding right now, so that area looks like it's finding some support. But if we get any kind of a big pop here today, I think that 58 could be respected. But this has been so incredibly weak. It ticked SSR, so down 10% for most of it, and just not showing any signs. On the flip side, I showed you Robinhood, right? Like that also flushed this morning, but has managed to then reclaim and test these highs of the day. It's the exact opposite with Coinbase. It's resting on those lows down that 10%. And you have to feel that this is something that, if we actually continue, if we end up breaking downside and this ends up a red day or in a red week, Coinbase should be back to 50 at some point, and we can start thinking about that 45 low, which oddly enough is exactly Goldman Sachs' target for Coinbase.
Yeah, go figure. Okay, so right now, just watching Meta here as we're continuing to climb here back into some levels. I mean, we're long right here, 168.40. So first out there, 168.80. That's 40 cents. Then that's $1. Then that's $1.50. So we're in the money now. Again, another $1.30 here for Meta. But I'm going to try to let this one fly in case the Nasdaq does want to keep going upside. But the Nasdaq's still down today, so I don't know. Apple started to go. Amazon, we're still doing really great. So there's no problem. Let's just see where Meta goes. We had a question there earlier. Can we trade BITO? Yes, we can. This is a ProShares Bitcoin ETF, BITO, a new one. And then BITI here as well. Are we able to trade that? Yes, we are. So more Bitcoin action there. This is the short Bitcoin. So one is the long, one is the short. BITO long, BITI the short Bitcoin. So those of you that asked us about that, yes, we can do that. So as Bitcoin continues, it's not, we talked about 20,800. Neil just talked about that. It's not really moving right now, but these are two instruments that we can trade. So if you do see us slip in and out of these, I think this is a little bit better than GBTC. I don't know about better. I shouldn't say better. It's just this is the short ETF. So I don't think there's an inverted one or anything like that on the ETF on OTC markets. So definitely something to look at there on the OTC markets to see if there is an inverted one. But this is in case you want to go long on crypto, short, but a name that you can go long. Look at the spread here right now. So it's about 7 or 8 pennies. So for me, the way I trade, obviously I'm gonna do a pretty hard pass on this one for now. I don't really trade it like that. So we're gonna wait on BITI. Too much spread right now on that name. What just happened? AMD, so new position alert. We'll go awesome. We're going to go long AMD now. We're already long Apple. We just punched the long here on AMD.
Look at AMC.
Just took it out. Yeah, hold on a second. Just took it out 86.90. That's a little bit too big of a move. I don't know what we're doing there because VWAP's all the way down here. So a little bit of work required here on AMD.
Quickly,
Go ahead.
I was going to say AMC with another power move on decent volume there. Just actually broke the high of the day, 14.20. Got all the way to 14.42. Love me that 42 number. But all the way up to 14.42, man, I was thinking there'd be a better dip to be able to get back into this, but that didn't happen at all. So that looks like we could be thinking about 14 to get back into this party. 15 even, for lack of a better price, might be the level that I would consider shorting. But wow, AMC just cannot be stopped. It is continuing to just make new highs. It's just, why would you, Like you can look, people short a stock, you believe it's going. Why would you sit there and basically trash talk and taunt the apes? It just seems like not a winning strategy. Like
You think that's what it is, though? Like,
No. I'm not saying that that's the reason it's up. I'm just saying what's the upside to doing something.
Right,
like
I never
that?
understood that either, my friend.
Yeah, just shut your mouth. Make your trade. There's no reason to do it. Now you look extra bad. It's up 15% today.
It took most of the day, but here goes GME as well now, guys. Just went 130 up to 135 finally. I mean, this thing's still negative on the day, but nice little pop here on volume for GME starting to go as well. I was going to mention some of the Chinese ADRs didn't hold up very well today. I mean, all of them gapped up again, but NIO negative. Just saw some of the other EV makers back to the downside as well. But JD.com, Alibaba, there was one other one, PDD, I think it was. Yeah, all pretty strong.
Yeah.
Well, strong is a relative word. Like Pinduoduo was the strongest looking chart of them all, but really they just rug pulled it today, and it's essentially a miracle that they didn't get wiped out on this thing, and really it just came down to taking outs, right? So whether it was the scalping the breakout and then scalping the dip buy, but eventually you go to the well and you're going to lose, right? So it went to the well at 67, one too many times, and it just died out. And this is sort of the thing when you're breaking out on the daily. And I looked at, and the funny thing about it is the last time it did this, and I look at when it made this last consolidation break on the daily at 53, if you look at what happened, it ended up red that day. Like it spiked, and then you ended up flushing, making a fresh low, closing slightly down, and then it rallied the next day. So, the fact that it had this consolidation at 67 and is effectively going to do the same thing, which is try to open breaking out, and then end the day to the downside, if indeed that's exactly what happens here, which it looks like it will, then it'll just have repeated the pattern from the last consolidation. But I'm not going to forget the fact that in a strong market, the next 2 days, Pinduoduo was up $10.
Yeah.
So it could be a situation where if we get green today and tomorrow looks equally decent to the bullish side, then there's no reason to look at this above the 200 period and say, okay, it is trying to clear through 67. And if we do get a chance to go long in front of that price, I should just go ahead and try to do that again, because sometimes when you get these breaks, it has to shake people out. And as a day trader, you're always going to be susceptible to that, because you might like the level, but if it doesn't go that day, you're going to lose that day. And if it goes the next day and then you don't take the trade because it lost the day before, well, then that's no good. If it's valid and sets up the same way and I like it the same way tomorrow, I'm just going to try the exact same trade. The key thing being disciplined and understanding that if I just average into this in oblivion, you're going to get destroyed if you just sit there and say, well, I think Pinduoduo is along today. Well, no, it's not going to work out. And the crazy thing about it is, that's a clear wick off top and then a break of the pre-market low and then consolidating below that same 67 price. So when you look at it the other direction, that same 67 that's breaking out on the daily chart ended up being quite possibly the best short today that you could have had in the market, with the shorting off of that failed break. So sometimes you just got to be able to reverse, but my bias got the better of me today, and this time it was actually a long bias.
Yeah, same thing with me on Alibaba, except for the long bias was right. I just didn't give it enough room. I wrote down here on the sticky note 118 that we would have to look for that as a level to sort of play off of, and then unfortunately that just hit pretty fast, man. I mean, we were short there early, which was good, able to capitalize for sure on the short before reversing it long. Like we went short right here, 120 break, and then we got first piece out 75, that's 25 cents. Then we got the rest out here at 119 flat, and then we went long and then made all that. We took like $1 short, then more than $1 back long. So all was fine here on this name, right? Maybe. And then all of a sudden came right back in. This is where we kind of, I don't know what I was thinking here, because we went long again here. This is fine. Everything's fine. But why I got out at 118, should have just done a little bit more work, like I said on that one, and then been just more confident with the trade, because honestly, once it hit that 118, that was basically it. It's not even like it's a lot of volume. Just came down, hit 118. I got out, and then it just started to cruise upside. And then as you're seeing right now for the rest of the day here, Alibaba's been bouncing sort of off that 118. Should have gone long again there. Didn't even really realize that was happening. So anyways, Alibaba on the downside right there, down to 117.88 as the bottom. But I feel like we pegged that one pretty good. 118 high side, and then this 119.50. We've sort of come up to view up, come up to view up, come up again. So This is going to be a good short again, 119.40 if it comes in, and or a long down here at 118. So let's just see where this all settles down. But I really like that BOBA 118 level. Maybe it comes tomorrow and we'll be able to play off that. But that's what I'm looking at right here, Alibaba off that level.
All right, let's go to Rev. I just saw a couple of people talking about Revlon here once again. 8%, guys, to the downside today. But more importantly, I think 18 million shares where we were, 80 plus million shares by this time of day, pretty much every day last week. So interest may be shifting a little bit here over to AMC and GME from the retail standpoint today.
Well, that sort of feels like it's exactly what's happened. And often enough, when you see these types of moves where you get like a squeeze or multi-day interest in a small cap, it's often that the second wave, whatever, lack of a better word, that doesn't really happen until you get a significant slowdown or consolidation off a level. And so for those making the bull case, what you'd look at is, say, that 650 from last week, even in an 8% down day where all the attention's on AMC and a few other small caps, well, that managed to hold pretty well. In fact, it hasn't even challenged that 650. It's been down to $7. And, maybe I guess there was a short opportunity this morning when it failed at $8. I would have looked to short off 850, maybe a little bit more if it got higher. But I think as long as it holds 650, it'll be in play for a secondary squeeze. And that's what you should be paying attention to. If you hold this 650 long enough, and the tighter it gets to that price and the longer it holds it, the better the chances, or so the better opportunity becomes to swing it off of that kind of a stop, maybe at 40s or 30s, or as a day trader to just kind of go long off that bid and take your shot. So that's what I'll be looking out for in Rev. You can also set up volume alerts, whatever you want, but if this gets down to 650, that's going to grab my attention. This is probably just a case of it needing to consolidate to get a second wave in here. Like, there's been a bit of a reprieve since it hit 10 for the shorts. It did a significant enough pullback that those that recycled or got in at that price are now sort of sitting pretty again. It only got to 9, so anybody that shorted up here is probably saying to themselves, okay, we're okay for now. This could still break down. And ultimately, we are talking about Chapter 11. Without anyone purchasing them. This is a stock that could easily flush at any moment. But above 650, it still needs to be on our radars. You pay the price when you ignore something like this just because it has one day of not looking good. Because what will happen is it does that for a couple of days in a row, people forget about it, and that's the exact reason why you can get a secondary move, because people take their eyes off of it, and then suddenly there's a little bit less resistance on the way up.
Yeah, I still really like that level there of 650 there, like you just mentioned there, on that name. So I think that's something that I'll probably hold out for on Revlon. I was still looking at Alibaba. And just an update here on where we're going to get out if things go sour for us on advanced micro devices. So AMD right now, we did take that 86.90 bid there. Kind of strange why I would do that. Normally it would be 87. It could have been where the 50 period was, and I kind of left it alone there, but I don't know. So anyways, we're long there. It's fine. I still like the long. The problem is, like, the reason why I didn't get out is that the 50 period was above here on the NASDAQ. So that's sort of what I've been watching. So I don't have a problem being long here. I mean, the stock might have a problem. I'm going to go hold this until we break the low of the day. I feel like in this market, it's just like my meta long that I had, these Amazon. I mean, the Amazon's a short as we're at right now, back to the low of the day, and we're still in this short here on Amazon, really printing well. And actually net going to be my number. Well, Meta's my number one stock, but this one's going to be pretty close after we're done this on Amazon. So we'll see where it goes. But again, AMD, I want to average in again here, like right about here at 60. So I do have a bid to take some more shares there. I'm going to take another quarter, if my math is right, on this position, another quarter to average into this to get our average price a little down. And then if it dumps out, it dumps out, man. We're going to wind up losing on this one, AMD. And again, the semis have been a lot weaker lately than, the Metas, Apples, Microsofts. But today I just noticed that, hey, as opposed to the market, AMD was actually a little stronger. So I'm thinking that's probably what I was thinking here, that if we got a break, which we did right here on the NASDAQ and on AMD that we had that chance just to fly a little bit higher there. So, all right, we got our average price there. You might have saw that come in at 60. So now we have 82 as our average price here on AMD with a little bit more shares. So let's see if we can turn this frown upside down here on AMD and just start to go upside. And there's that kind of that frown there that Michael Noss was talking about, where you start to make these tops and then connecting the highs with the lows. Anyways, let's see where AMD goes. Right now we're long, hoping for an upside move. Bottom right there is where we're getting out, 86.35. So that'll be about a 50-cent hit. Pretty typical for me here on AMD. So let's see. Here it comes right back into the 70s. 80s gives us flat, and then we'll go from there higher. I will take a piece out, though, in the 90s, and I know that's not a good R to R there, risk to reward, but hey, if it comes back up here, it's stumbled on itself a few times. Let's see if we can get AMD back to the upside, but the market needs to go first.
Just having a look at Altria, guys. I mean, there wasn't much in the way of a tradable move so far today on Altria, but just saw this pop up. We'll go back to Amazon and show you this. CNBC just talking about this second possible shopping event. They didn't call it Prime Day, but shopping event coming up in Q4. So they already announced July 12th and 13th will be Prime Day. So it looks like maybe they're considering a second one coming up later on in the year.
Yeah, because the first was a disappointment.
Was it? They didn't have Prime Day yet.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's not. Well, okay, it is more of a disappointment the last couple of years compared to what it used to be. So I think it's one of those situations where some of the shine has come off of it. Like I love Amazon as a service, and let's get that one out of the way. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and you're probably not gonna hear me say anything bad about it. There's packages coming almost every single day for us. But overall, this is just a case. That's not split adjusted. This is maybe just a case of after it broke that 100 level, you essentially, when you break that 100 level, you go 15% to the upside, and then you consolidate like that. You have one level to hold, and once it didn't hold that, it's just been selling off. And sometimes you get that kind of a relief rally in a sector that has been beaten down. And it's only going to go so far. Now, retail, it's in that space that has been under a lot of heat and under a lot of pressure, and that all kind of fell apart here today. And realistically, you look at the names that are holding up in tech, and I shouldn't say not too much of a surprise, but I'd say the fact that the retail name out of the big techs looking weak isn't too big of a surprise there. Before I know you have Amazon, you're going to want to talk about it in a quick second. I did want to go over just this small cap that I'm in, that AFIB. Because I'm not doing the same thing from this morning. It was a long off $1 this morning, and then it was a short off the $1 level. But since it held the second time, which is about 1 o'clock, it held above $1. Now it's just a long off of VWAP and holding this 109, 110 area, and then playing it to the high. It's got a double top at 125. I definitely think covering in front of that makes some sense. And if it gets through 125, this is a day one play. And if you look, there's room to about 144, 150, I think we could possibly get to. So the 125 break is something that is also going to be on the cards there. But I want to cover shares in front of 125. But this is not the $1 long, and I wouldn't hold this to $1 either.
All right, yeah, actually, I don't really. I mean, you did a good job there on Amazon. I don't really have to cover that much right now. I mean, Brendan came with that news. I think it's pretty interesting, obviously, as we go here, that they're going to have the double Prime Day. But to me, that makes, honestly, I don't know, it doesn't make any difference to technically what I'm looking at now for this name. So let's just continue on that road here with AMZN and just keep on the short. I mean, that's seriously just all that I'm doing is shorting this name as we keep respecting this 50 period. If we start to go there, then maybe I could say to myself, hey, self, let's get out if it breaks that 50 period, because we're in the money $2 right now. So again, we don't expect every name just to run for us all the time. But there goes AMD. I am going to take a little bit out here at 83. Our average price is 83. So we'll take a little piece out here on AMD, as we did buy some nice dip bottoms there. I was hoping to get some out at 90, which would be 10 cents. But, this market just made that move that we kind of were looking for, back up to the upside there through 12. 12,000. We've held 12,000 now a couple times on the NASDAQ. Let's see if this gives us sort of that room to grow. I'm going to cancel at 83, forget about it. Let's go to 90s now. If we can get a bump up into the 90s where we've sort of bounced off of, that'll be good enough for us. So let's see if that'll come through here on AMD. Yeah, I do have an offer at exactly 90 even. So hopefully the market will continue and respect this upside move. We're now 15 cents in the money right here on, Apple's, okay, 91, 92. Where am I offering here? 98s. All right, let's change that up on Apple a little bit here because, again, you know, let's just get out here. If we get out at 90, we'll take that right here. We'll offer some 90s, see about getting out on Apple. Hopefully that can come back. Just noticing that it stopped here a couple times. Look, it's not going to be a big win. We're long at 75. We could take a piece out here for 15 cents. We'll do it. There it is. So we just got hit there at 90. So we will take a piece out there on 90 now. Let's just see if this does print out for us. So 90s out right there. That's all good. And then we'll just wait to see if AMD wants to continue its upside move. It is a nice move. Obviously, we got that reload down there. That's turning out to be nice. But still more work to be done here. It needs to go. I want to try to take a winner. We could scalp out for flat. Again, if you don't like the positions, man, you can grab your outs. I mean, there's a lot of liquidity right now. You don't have to be in every single name all the time. Just watch out here for AMD. Looks like it's going to be pretty juicy here. We're going to give it to that 86.30 this low. Probably won't average in again. I want to be right on this. I don't need to be right. So let's just wait. If it's good to go, it's good to go. Right now, it's out for flat. If you want it, I'm going to hold on a little bit more.
So a couple of things here. One, I just wanted to mention on that Altria news that Brennan brought to us. There was a stay on that, essentially that jewel ban, right?
Okay.
So they appealed, and there was a bit of a stay that got put through, even though the stock is down. But that was the news. So you'd interpret that as potentially being positive news, but the stock looking relatively weak. And I think because the appeal was known that there would be an appeal anyways. AMC is again testing the high of the day. There isn't a lot of size at 1350 on the offer here, but I mean, it's an even dollar level and every single break has worked so far. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to take the break. We'll see what happens with it. For a breakout trade, you're essentially just trying to get 51, 52, and then be able to scalp some out. And then if you can hold for a little bit further, why not? If you get a couple of thirds out there or half out, you have the chance to maybe reload potentially at support at 14.25 or something along those lines. But I'd like to either see it break this level, get to the upside. I think 15 is more that line in the sand where if it had done this at 15, I'd be short at 97, 98, something along those lines. But at this price, I'd rather take a shot at the long for AMC. GME, by the way, which has been incredibly weak, nowhere near those highs. This feels like I should almost have already faded this. And there goes AMC through that 1450 level already. So that didn't take very long. But
so
if we push higher on GameStop, you might actually see me short this before I'm shorting anything like an AMC. This gets to the high of the day. It feels like it's in a bit of a different stratosphere, which is relatively weak all day. It got one spike, and even now the volume is dying on it. So if I see that start to go, it's probably where I'd much prefer to be shorting. But I've already scalped a little bit out there. It only went like 5 cents initially on AMC, but this thing is just relentless to the upside. It's been really difficult to have any shorts against it. I had one, but 17% and just running. I mean, not too many things this strong. I mean, the market is trying to bounce here, but AMC has been bouncing all day, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. Let's spin this too for anybody long AMC, anybody trading Meta. And I want to just, Chris L., thanks for asking one more time about Meta. But yeah, it's the same price. We've just been defending this 168. If you look here, these prices were pretty good on Friday, some of these lower prices there. So we are sitting here still defending that level. So as you can see, that's what I'm doing. It came down a couple times, waited for it. And that's why I ain't no way in hell bang for AMD right now. So let's keep going to the upside now as AMD is now nicely in the money for us. We're long at 80. As you guys know, we just took some out there, 90s there on AMD. But anyways, just waiting for this 171. If Meta's going to be strong, let's just have this name. We're already $2 in the money on Meta off of that bottom 168. And it's not, I shouldn't say it's a new position, but I mean, we took it at 1230 and we've had it now 3 times. So it's been reloaded every time down there. Like if you're joining us now, welcome. But some of these trades, I'll try to repeat the same ones like throughout the day until something fails. So that's kind of just like what I'm looking at and how I trade. So, you know, if I'm long at 168, that's like where that would be. It's kind of just like this Amazon. Oh, Amazon is starting to now break. We talked about it breaking above, we probably would get out. So I'm going to use 114, I think, as an out area now for Amazon as that's starting to go back up. We're still, look, we're $1.50 in the money on the Amazon short. We're $2.50 in the money now on the Meta long. We're 30 cents, Prad. Prad asked me, he goes, am I long Apple? I was like, yeah. There it is right there. Bang, upside on Apple. Nice, he's long with me. Are you long AMD with me is the question as well. As AMD's a banger right now, long at 77. Taking some more out here. 98s there out on Amazon, AMD. We waited for that trade, guys. So a nice little move to the upside. We put this on with you here. So a nice average in. We told you we're taking about a third more down there or a quarter more. Averaged our price into 80. Boom, boom, upside right there. So let's see how that one's going to pay out for us. And then, like I just said, Apple. So right now, Apple long, AMD long, Amazon short, Meta long. So long all these NASDAQ names and then short retail here with AMZN that just wicked high there, 113.90. That might be a good spot to get out as some of these markets are starting to rip a little bit here. I mean, by some of these markets, I really just mean the NASDAQ, starting to go back up to the upside right here.
Yeah, and it's been only upside for AMC. I just took another leg out. There's another spike to the high, 1464. There's one other trade, and someone mentioned in the chat there, and I still have TBLT from a little bit earlier on. This wasn't necessarily like one of those pre-market plays, but it was one that we're looking at off of the open. And when it made, again, it was trending to the downside, but then it made a very bullish move at the open. And you try to head to the downside, hold a higher low, and then you're breaking out the consolidation. And when it did this 3 break, what I was sort of telling people was instead of looking for that break and paying up to $3, allow it to fail that, come back in, and if previous resistance holds, you've got some support. And that was first 75s and then off the 260 level. So that right at the open, right after the open, after the opening rush, you had this 260 of support. It holds that. I'm still looking for it to break 3, obviously. We get a $3 break. I'm likely to take the breakout at the high of the day, which is 05s, but I'm covering this in front of 3 to then get in on any kind of a high of the day break. So these small caps had been relatively good. And as far as AMC is going, like remember I said if I short something in that group, it's going to be GME. You just saw AMC continue through highs. Like this is how strong GME is on that same move. Like it just put a wick off top the other way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pay for my shorts ahead of time because I didn't do that on GameStop. Because we have to pay for AMC shorts today as well. I kind of wish I hadn't. Might not get a chance to use them again. But GameStop I will. A third of a cent.
Yeah, it's $3 for every 1,000 shares. So all you got to do is make that 1 cent there,
and you're good to go.
And you're good to go. So yeah, AMC, and sometimes I do that. You'll see me do that. Like I'll short something, and I'll just like say, oh, I just took 5 cents, and then you have your pay for shorts covered. Excuse me. But as we're here at Day Trade the World, once you pay once, this is just for everybody there that's watching, that's part of Day Trade the World. You know, once you pay for that one time, then you're good to go the rest of the way, right? So you don't need to keep on paying for it. Once you've loaded it in once, you've got it. So you take short 100 shares. If you cover that 100, you get another 100, and you don't have to pay extra for that. So if you guys are paying attention there on the DTTW side, that's how it's good to go. Okay. Just quickly here, AMD, now monstrous, man. Now we're 30 cents in the money. This has turned out to be a fantastic trade for me. Let's take some more out if we can at 96. If it does want to take, there it is, just rips it up through those levels. So again, started right there at 90, was able to average in. Remember when we got this 90, I was like, I don't know, I don't know why I would like this 90 so much. Turns out that, yeah, we didn't really need to like it. So we did average in down there. Now we'll see if it can still continue its climb. But you know what? Like, let's just take out one more piece. We're getting lighter and lighter on. There we go. We just got a 92. The reason why, if this NASDAQ fails, we're going to have Frank Caberna coming on from the Small Exchange, which is one of our favorite guests. So we'll see what he's talking about macro side of things here. But excuse me. It's going to be good that we're going to Frank. Like, talking too much here, choking on myself. But there it is, the NASDAQ looking to take out that 50 period. So one more out on AMD. And then that's it. Now we can let this thing fly. We will average back in at 86.50. Remember where we're going to get out is down here. But AMD flying right now, Apple flying, Meta $2.25 in the money. So far so good. And it's about to get a lot better for everybody because here's Brendan with Frank. Let's go.
Yeah, let's try and learn something today, shall we? It's going to be a busy week once again on the economic side of things, on the macro side of things. Frank Caberna joining us once again from the Small Exchange in Chicago to fill us in on all we need to know this week, Frank. And it's a lot because there's a few things that definitely could be market moving events. Great to see you as always. We back on Friday, we're discussing some of the stock related moves that we've seen recently coming off of yield-driven and treasury-driven moves going into the weekend. I mean, a bit of a consolidation, it would appear anyways, to start things off today.
Yeah, this is one of the most boring starts to a week that we've seen in a while in stocks, which is interesting because, last week we talked about how the stock market was one of the only markets on my board that closed outside of its projected range. And we run these forecasts for everybody out there. We run these forecasts on all of our different assets here at the Small Exchange, and it runs a gamut of stocks, interest rates, foreign exchange, commodities like gold and crude oil. Last week, the only market to close outside of its forecast using realized volatility to make that forecast was the stock market, closed above its projected high. And now, a really boring open last night. NASDAQ and everything else opening just 10, 20 bucks higher. And now some wiggle today during the U.S. session, but not really going anywhere. But Brendan, I think it'll be a really interesting week for stocks and interest rates, dollars, and everything that we'll get to in a second, especially if we can see some continued strength in this market. Here in sticks, we're looking at a range for this week of 46 all the way up to 50. If we can even stay inside this range, I think that that's a vote of confidence for the stock market. If they can go 2 weeks in a row breaking the upside projection, what volatility is projecting for this market, I think that's really strong indicator for equities as they've done pretty much nothing but sell off the first half of the year. The second half, we might be able to pick up some steam here and finally bounce back a little bit more significantly than what we've seen if they can get up to 50 bucks in sticks. Or my projected upside in NASDAQ is about 12,700. Now, if they break back below 11.5, then maybe we see some continued downside here. But a nice last week, the only market to close outside of its range, stocks. Let's see if they can do it again to the upside here. It would be 12.7 in NASDAQ. But as you point out, I want to get out of now what's been kind of, like I say, a boring start to the week in stocks and get a little bit into where the volatility has been for the last several weeks here, which is interest rates and U.S. dollar, because we got a big calendar here, Brendan, with an ECB forum, one that I don't know if I've seen this on the calendar in past years, but we've got an ECB forum from today on until Wednesday. Wednesday, U.S. GDP, Thursday, U.S. inflation, and then Friday, Euro inflation. No non-farm payrolls this week. I know that Friday is July 1st, but the U.S. non-farm payrolls number will be next Friday. But this ECB forum is going to be really interesting, and I think it's going to be really good for sporadic random outsized moves in interest rates in U.S. dollar. And we'll show you how to measure some of those moves here in a second. But you're supposed to have, Lagarde speaking, I believe it is tonight and tomorrow. And then Wednesday, they're closing off this ECB forum, Brendan, with a nice big headlining set, almost like Lollapalooza, the Sunday night. Headlining set will be Wednesday morning. You'll have Lagarde from the ECB, and then Bailey from the Bank of England, and Fed Chair Powell from the U.S. Central Bank here, the Fed, all speaking on Wednesday morning here. Nothing going on in terms of data releases and actual action, Brendan, but these speeches are usually good for nice back and forth and maybe some scalping in interest rates, stocks, and U.S. dollar. You'll probably be watching those, right?
100%. It's the type of market that we're in where, any kind of comment can move things significantly up or down. So Wednesday, you said the Fed Chair Powell will make some comments. And then that inflation number, that I guess it's PCE coming up on Thursday morning, also going to be a market moving event. What does this mean for treasuries this week? Obviously a little bit quiet here on that front to start things off as well.
Yeah, another similar to stocks starting off the week inside, but I think that this all amounts to me, Brendan, nothing getting done, but a lot of talk around where rates might be headed, which to me smacks of great potential for some scalping. And here we have the 5-day forecast for the 2-year. Now, of course, you can look at the 10-year and 30-year, but the yield curve is one, very flat, but two, a lot of the volatility focused in the shorter duration interest rate products here. So I'm staying eyes glued on the 2-year. And what I think, Brendan, is if we get, Powell and Lagarde say something on Wednesday morning, or that inflation number comes out on Thursday and it spooks this market to the upside or downside, I'm just looking for some scalps outside of the norm. If rates get up past 3.25 or 3.3%, which in the futures here would be 32.5 or $33, I'm probably looking to get short this market, looking for it to revert back into the meat of this range. If it falls down below 2.8% or $28, I'm going to look to trade this from the long side, because this is another, like I say, another one of those weeks where we don't have an FOMC event. They're not actually hiking or cutting rates, but so much talk around it could lead to very short-term spikes or sell-offs in this market. And if you want to go even more granular, we can take a look at the standard deviations in this market. I usually, when day trading, will not be looking necessarily at the actual price of the product, but the net changes in there. And you see the first standard deviation, the first part of this bell curve, at around 90 cents in 2 years. That's about 9 basis points. So if I see a daily move, Brendan, greater than 10 basis points one way or the other, up or down $1 here in S2Y futures, I'm just going to be looking to take the other side. Like I say, a lot of talk, a lot of back and forth, but I don't think at the end of the day, anyone getting anything done. I wouldn't be surprised if we close the week in interest rates right here where we started them, but see a lot of back and forth between now and the close of the week.
Made a really good point going back a week or so ago, talking about how we're getting to a point with U.S. inflation specifically that, even if a UK or even if a Canadian inflation number comes out a little bit below where it's expected, that could be a positive at this point, just, signaling even that the rate at which things are moving to the upside might be slowing. There's more data on that front coming in relation to the U.S. one as well, coming up on Thursday. So, compare this to a CPI, I guess, for everyone, maybe, because that has become, the employment report that used to, move the market the way jobs reports used to. But compare this number coming up on Thursday to the way that CPI is read.
So, yeah, it's going to be similar, maybe a little less of a headline for people out there comparatively to the other inflation data that comes out. But this is a big number that the Fed takes into account. I think that this is their primary inflation number, the one that's going to come out on Thursday morning here in the U.S. And so I wouldn't be surprised that if it does come out and surprise to the upside, it's higher than we had thought, that you see interest rates and U.S. currencies here, the U.S. dollar, could see a spike in there. But we have seen a little bit of a trend the last couple of weeks here, Brendan, since that high of about 2 or 3 weeks ago in USD and interest rates. Inflation hasn't been surprising so much to the upside. I think a lot of the projections have caught up with the speed of inflation. And so this number on Thursday, comparative to other inflation numbers, maybe not as big of a headline for traders out there, but it should be, because it is a big factor in what the Fed will do, and thus will move U.S. dollar markets and interest rate markets here in the U.S. So I'll definitely be watching it. I'm sure we'll get a big move on Thursday morning, but also one to watch will be that euro inflation number on Friday as well. Not as big of a jolt to the market when we see these inflation numbers out of Europe, but if we get a weaker than expected inflation number from the U.S. on Thursday and out of the Eurozone on Friday, you could see this U.S. dollar and interest rate market take another leg lower to the downside. If they do come out higher than expected, though, I think we could get back to those highs that we saw just 2 or 3 weeks ago of 3.5% in rates and U.S. dollar back to those highs against euro especially.
Just double checking here, the Thursday event you were speaking of, 9 a.m. Eastern will be Chair Powell. It looks like will take to the camera, take to the microphone, and do what he does. CPI, just double checked as well, July 13th we'll get June reading on CPI. So more to come on that front as well. Great stuff as always. Frank Caberna, Director of Product Content and Creative over at the Small Exchange in Chicago. Have a great week.
Thanks, Brendan.
Take care.
As always, a chance. What do you mean? We're still on.
There we go.
I was going to say, as always, a chance to, as Brendan said, like strap on the thinking cap and get your learn on with Frank. And thank you as always for Frank coming on here. Some things did happen while we were gone. You'll see me out of the AMC long. Looks like that finally gave it up at least a little bit.
Yep.
But I said what I would short would be GameStop because lower hanging fruit, right? Down on the day, probably only even making the break off 130 out of complete sympathy. And then you saw as AMC was taking out that recent high, it couldn't break. I grabbed the short in front of 134. I just took some out 1-to-1. Now I'm looking for VWAP here. So rather than... And this is not necessarily rocket science. If you can ever find a sympathy play, which is being long or short something, which is in a related sector, which you think should be relatively weak if you're trying to short it, then why try to pick a top on AMC when all you can do is, when you see the first sign of weakness, go over to something which is likely to fall on sympathy and also not showing strength. There's not going to be as many people on the bid. There's not going to be emboldened longs that are sitting there like, ha ha ha, we're great. No, there's going to be people looking to take profit because that's what the GME chart looks like the last couple of days, rejecting 150, putting in a 127 bottom this morning, and I think just people running to the exits when AMC just made that turn. So, don't always sit there and have to, it's not about, sometimes it's like, okay, well, if you get the top on the strongest stock, I suppose there's a feeling like oh my goodness, it's like beating LeBron at 1-to-1, like you went up against the best and you won. But last time I checked, it's better to just win the trade. Like the analogy I used to use, and it's not mine, someone else said this, it's like, imagine I was gonna pay you $1 for every bucket you got, and you can either play against LeBron James, or you can play against a high schooler, or you can play against Pratt. Right, like who are you gonna pick? It's
Pratt.
obvious who you're gonna pick. You're gonna play against Pratt. Well, he's not even there, did you hear that? He didn't even hear he's got the earphones on. The point being, it doesn't matter. You don't get extra points for playing against a better opponent. That's why I play against
him right there.
The better opponent. And I actually have no clue. Pratt could probably dub me because he's younger in basketball. But you get my point. Go over to GME because AMC's been too strong to fight. And there you go, another leg down on GME. Where's AMC at? Like this thing is...
Where are you at?
I mean, give me a break. So it did pull back, but which one is going to be the better short to have? I did try reload in AMC. It did not work out, but I didn't even try shorting this. And if you did short it on this consolidations, congratulations for 7 cents. But GameStop's already pulled back $1.50, which equivalent to AMC is about twice the move. I know one's more expensive, but it's twice the pullback right now on GameStop on this consolidation as opposed to AMC.
It's like AMC is Ape Nation, man. They're not going anywhere. No. Like these guys haven't run out of cash, and they're making more cash every day, it seems like. And congratulations, everybody, on AMC. Hip hop hooray, Playmaker, for that one. Hey ho, hey ho. Yeah. Feel Me Flow is another great track there by Naughty by Nature. Feel Me Flow.
They wouldn't know that one.
I don't know. Playmaker, man. What I think he keeps putting on. I don't know. Why do you keep putting Naughty by Nature? Is that your jam there? Those guys? Oh, because he had that huge chain, I think before. But okay, yeah. I mean, AMC right there, 1470, nice little high there. Did come back into that 1430. Look at that base right there. Good little bottom, man. 1425, 1428. Hip hop hooray on that one because yeah, nice little bounce off of that level. Regardless, you. Wow.
Okay.
And
I took that.
Yeah, there you go. And he took the Claritin as well. On that one, so good one there. But all right, just since you were gone, like we mentioned there, and the big thing is again about Frank. He mentioned a pretty slow day. Yeah, I mean, it depends, right? When you're looking at a sort of a macro level, and maybe he's just talking about stocks in general for the market isn't doing too much. But you guys know, like, I have multiple. I have a $2 winner on Meta, $2 win on Amazon right now, and a nice little win on AMD here as well. So I feel like when we have those guests on, great knowledge, and it's just understand that your time frame is going to be different from Frank's, different from ours. So, judge some of that talk, and it's great talk. It has nothing to do with that. It's just make sure that you're looking at the right time frames here when you are talking about different equities or commodities and so on and so forth. Like oil today, right here, about to actually did close there at 2:30, closed at 109.25. Nice move up, man. We just tipped out to 110.60. I feel like the oil run is not over, and I still think that 130 could come into play soon as well on oil. So watch out for that one. The market is coming back down here now. So yeah, AMD.
Whoa.
What AMC?
What just happened to Robinhood?
Maybe that's that Sam Bankman-Fried.
Please tell me this is the button.
Right now,
Gimme.
Looks like it's going to halt right now, so we got to try to get as long as possible here on the halt, as it is going to halt to the upside.
I should probably have figured out what the news is.
I was not able to get anything.
What just happened?
As I just fired out some bids there on it. Nice move up to 896, and now halting is Robinhood right there. So I noticed it not enough time, but Robinhood's going to the upside right now. Nice little play there. Let's see where it's going. Obviously, Brendan's going to have some news there. We did hear, come to my screen a little bit here, because we did hear about Sam Bankman-Fried coming in and possibly taking out a little bit more. He's well out of the money, I think. It'd be interesting to see when his first trade was on that. I feel like, no, I mean, he's probably in, I don't know, I'm not sure when. Was it right here, about 950?
I actually don't know.
I think it was, it might have been this bounce right there. So I'm not sure where he's long. And I don't know if we actually even know where FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried is long. So we'll have to wait to see, but there it is. Sam Bankman-Fried said to be seeking path for Robinhood deals. So there it is right there coming out. So a nice little move upside for Robinhood right here.
Yeah, so I was sitting in the long breakout, but let's be real for a second. That was just a double top. We talked about this. That was just a double top break, right? It's a technical trade. I mean, ultimately, you get good fortune by this happening, but you're going to see me have added to it on that little bid there. So when it goes into the halt state, I took a shot just taking it up there because, in my mind, the only thing that could have spiked it was either is Bankman-Fried taking a bigger stake or what I think we're about to hear. Brendo?
A little cautious on this, guys, and I'll tell you why. This is Bloomberg reporting this, and this is nothing outside that I've seen yet than what we heard in the pre-market this morning. Remember, we were talking about this morning in the pre-market, and this is nothing new, so just be careful. I'll let you know if there's anything further than what you said there.
Okay, I just tweeted it out as well. So there it is, Robinhood upside now to 9
it's tapping up,
and change. It's tapping up right now at 9 flat. You can see here that's a 20-minute, but if you look at the daily chart, like we were just talking about before, you're not even at the 50 period. That's 950. That has a good possibility, but nice move. 1, 2, it's like 7 straight updates here off that 7 bottom. This is what I'm talking about. There's some prices that have been so good in the last couple of days that, nice move upside there. You may never see 7 again. There on FTX. I'm not calling that as a bottom, but on FTX. Oh, I just did it right there on Robin. Maybe I'm foreseeing something there
I hope so.
for this name, but we'll see. Remember, FTX doesn't have the ability to have U.S. customers. Robinhood does, so there is some interest there. Robinhood's market value, I believe, was sub 10. Let's just see right now, Hood, what it's at right now with this current price. Yeah, so still $7 billion on. Oops, we don't need an ad there. Still $7 billion on market cap for Robinhood.
Oh, you know what? This is fantastic. So I saw TradeX in the chat there just saying he went long GameStop off of VWAP. Look, GameStop was a breakout off this 130.50 area. It's basically the same reason, and this is why it doesn't matter long, short, whatever. It's about making decisions at prices or key price levels and then deciding what makes sense. Because if it makes sense for a long, and probably all the same reasons you like it off VWAP, is exactly why I'm getting out of the GameStop short. Fine. AMC's also at $14. So if AMC bounces off 14 and we bounce off VWAP, I don't want to sit here and just stare a gift horse in the mouth. But you were able to short off 134 with a 135 high, and it just pulls back in. It's all about risk to reward. It's all about the fact that it was relatively weak. You put those two things together, and you got yourself a bit of a trade. Now, AMC is falling a little bit further. That would be my caution for the GameStop long, is AMC's really starting to follow through here. However, the last consolidation where it had double level support was down at 1380, and it really hasn't even broken that. It hasn't even touched VWAP, and it's still up 12%. And a lot of that does make it still a bit bullish. It looks like Robinhood, it should be a 5-minute, if it's just a volatility halt, right?
It is, it should be, yeah.
It
It's
should
up
be open up in
10%.
about 1 minute. And now it's tapping 9:30.
It's going to be great,
Yeah, it looks
man.
like it'll be good here on Robinhood. Because it was this big of a move out of nowhere, I'm going to take profit on the open, then see if I can't hold some for 950. Sorry, yeah, if it breaks, say 950 and then maybe even a $10 range. But I'll have at least half of it out on that open, just because it looks like it's tapping so good.
Yeah, 940.
Typically speaking, when it's tapping flat, the play has been to hold on to it, and when it's tapping big in the money, the play has been to take some of it out.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that ends up holding true. The notion of getting it all out on the reopen, I'm not really doing that anymore. I just feel like that's not the way to go here. So we'll take advantage of it. But the only reason I even got to this fast enough to get the bid was because I just happened to be in the stock, so I had a level 2 dedicated. So I saw it go up and had an idea that it was going to be something like this. But you had to be really quick to catch that on the hold.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was probably doing enough volume, but we'll just wait to see. Now tapping 950, so hey, sometimes you got to be there to get the trade, and so we'll wait to see where Robinhood opens up. The news is out there, pause due to volatility. We already know what the news is, so it's going to open up very, very soon here, I would imagine. It should already be. Off 5 minutes. Yeah, I know, it's been 5 minutes, so it should open up anytime. We'll have Robinhood for you. Let me just review a couple things here before we go. Well, not before we go, we ain't going anywhere, as you guys know. But right now, AMD. So again, market breaks, trouble looms. We get out for flat on AMD all day, every day, baby. I'm just going to keep doing that, right? I mean, as long as AMD gives me that trade right there, out, nicely done. AMD, a positive name for us, is just you got to respect the market, right? And right now, the market is heading to the downside. So we get out of our AMD and we get out of our Apple as well. Both out, at levels in there, out. So basically flat there on AMD and Apple, which is good because we were going long into this market, and the market right now hitting new lows.
Yeah,
so is it new lows? I shouldn't say. Yeah, it is actually.
It is.
Just took out new lows right now. So out of the way. Wow, thank God for that one. We'll do a little floss because, that's why you got to have your outs as well. So nice move to the downside there for Apple, cracking lower down to that 141. I mean, this is a level. We said we might use 141 as our stopping point here, but the market now not giving us a reason to go long. I think we'll just hold on to our short, which right now is printed. This Amazon trade is now $2 in the money and continuously going to the downside. So yeah, it's a good thing we didn't get anything out there on Amazon. We're trying to hold something. We do have Meta in, as that's still $1 in the money from down there. But yeah, we missed some high side on Meta. If this market reverses, I think this is the name. I will take this name long here on Meta at some point, but it's got to at least come back into here again. 168. I want to use 168 as my out here, so let's be patient as we can on this. Is Hood open yet? No.
No, at this point, it's obviously a 10-minute halt, right?
Yeah, so what time did it?
Yeah, I have 59 and change, so it should be 3 more minutes. But what the easy thing to do, guys, is anybody that's if you're stuck in a halt or a stock halts on you, just go to NASDAQtrader.com. It doesn't have to be a NASDAQ stock. I mean, you'll have NYSE names listed here as well. So you just go to NASDAQtrader.com, trade halts, search it up. It's a great page. It shows you quote resumption time, trade resumption when they do list it. You can see the reason code for the halt. So it says liquidity, LUPD, volatility trading pause, right? So that's only ever 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Essentially, it's always the case, right? It's, if they do that and hold, I shouldn't say that's always the case because a lot of you probably remember Funware that had a volatility halt and then, they kept it closed for it was like an hour long. Yeah. As as DWAC was continuing to go higher, and then DWAC started to pull back, and they waited until DWAC pulled back to open up Funware. And I still never saw an explanation for why that volatility halt lasted an hour. It ended up screwing a lot of people who were in that long playing that against DWAC because DWAC was clearly coming back down. Anybody who had that trade would have covered Funware. But all you can do is assume it's 5 or 10 minutes in this particular case. When it opens up, we will definitely let you guys know. Ooh, what just came out for me? TBLT must be making moves. There it is. Just rang the register on TBLT in front of $3. So it looks like this is headed towards that break of the high at 305. Now, I said I would get out of this one in front of it. I want to see how it responds to the break. I just saw AMC pull the rug a little bit. GameStop pulled the rug a little bit there. I was in that what was the other one there? That AFBI pulled the rug. So I don't want to be chasing a move on a breakout. I want to see how it reacts above that price. Maybe it snaps back down and gives me an entry at 285. And I save a little bit of money there, not chasing the move, or it consolidates above, and I can go long, say 310 with a 305 or $3 stop. So I'm being patient here with TBLT.
Yeah, good. All right, so just a new trade coming hopefully soon. I don't know. We'll see. We will take it to a 170 break. That's the 50 period right there on Meta. So I like the long. It coincides with this level there. So a lot of the time we won't just go into these trades completely blind, right? I mean, we got to make sure there are some levels that we like here. So we'll do that right now for Meta on that break. So we'll wait. If it goes, it goes. If not, it doesn't. So we'll wait for that one right now on Meta going through 170. That's a long that I like. We already have that Amazon short and the tap on Hood, just because I see someone say 940. Yep, still 940 there. So we're still tapping that. And obviously when it opens, we will come back to you live with that trade. Neil has it on again. So there it is. There it is. It's now open right now. Robinhood 955.
Yeah, I mean, it opened 955. Look, I'm holding some. I did get a bunch out on that open print there. I just feel like if we can hold 9, the price that it halted at, or even just above that halt price, maybe 895 or so, this could go off to the races. You're seeing a bunch, I'm talking a bunch of selling at 950. That just caused me to get a little bit more out there. Ultimately, this was a break at 850 and then 9, so 950 and 10 are the obvious logical levels. If there were ever a deal to be done here, one of the things that you got to keep in mind with Hood is more of an average price. Like, this has been spending a ton of time in the 950 to 10 range on the daily chart. So, an average price would be there, and then you start thinking premium from that price, not necessarily from $6 or $8. So I have no idea whether the stake has been up by Sam Bankman-Fried, but definitely Robinhood very bullish down from these levels. I just at this point, it's either we get to $10 because I've taken my profit here. We're going to let the last quarter ride. If it gets and holds that halt price, then I think I'm going to wait for $10 for the rest of this trade. So I'm just going to put my trail in, and that'll be essentially at break even. This 895 is going to be my stop.
Oh, we did get that. Okay, we did get. Meanwhile, as that's happening, of course, lots of stuff moving. So Meta does break 17. I went long to 956 on the break of that high for Hood. So then it went right to 70. So we'll have to watch out for that one. Meta there got really excited, man. It broke through 170. And we're right to 170.20. So we did take a piece out there for 20 cents. I still like this trade. But again, not too much lower than this, 169.50. Again, we don't want to give back what we've made on this because we're going to have one bad call. So here it is, nice little long 170 flat here on Meta. And you guys could take it with me right now. But I thought that break was pretty cool on that stock. And you could see it's tried. The problem is the market also stalled there. So if the market doesn't go back up, then obviously Meta's not going to do anything. We're going to have to wait for it. But Meta stronger than the market. So if the market goes, then I do like this name. My Robinhood, again, not a big position. Just wanted to get into it in case we had that other halt. Like when it opened up at 955, I believe, I went long 956 when it broke. So it opened. I didn't have any shares. I let it go like this, back and forth a little bit. Then when it took that open price, I went long there. So that's my call right now for that trade. Let's see where we go on Robinhood for now. I'm going to get out if it breaks back down below 9. So it's about that simple there. There's the out 9. So if it breaks 9, we're going to get out of Meta, and that's going to be the trade there. So Hood, sorry. Yeah, Meta doesn't break 9, hopefully. There's Meta back to the upside right here. So nice little out. Another one in the teens. Let's see how far up Meta wants to go. But we're long that one, long Hood, and short Amazon.
And just to come back over to AMC, I mean, I know Robinhood's going to steal some attention, and it's moving pretty quick. But at this point, I just think hold $9, see if it gets to 10. Yep. That's the idea. And AMC holds this 1480. Remember I said this 1380, the last real double bottom consolidation? It holds that like a charm, and I should have been in this trade. To be sure, distractions are distractions. I mean, Hood was halted. I definitely could have been paying more attention to this because that gave you these 1390s all the way back up to 1415, 1420. At this point, if we can bounce off this a second time, then maybe you get another test back up to 1450. I'm not sure we'll see 15 today after that pullback. And then likewise, if you're still watching GameStop, that's now pulled through VWAP, but is holding the 130 area. So as long as AMC holds up, you have a chance that GameStop can hold that 130 price. Not over yet for that name. And then going back over to that TBLT that I covered, it did a wick top. It gets to that 305 and then pulls right back. So, it doesn't make the break of 305, still has a chance. But if it consolidates at 3 here, that actually makes the break a little bit more appealing the longer it consolidates here. I just didn't like it taking it on a parabolic move up. Like, I never want to get into a breakout trade when it's done that, and then you just take the top of the big parabolic move, because you're essentially chasing a vacuum, which tends not to end well. You'd rather be long on a consolidation or something where it's building strength as opposed to just whipsaw to the upside and then grabbing that long.
Come on, market, get going, please, and thank you. Okay, just back on Hood here, bouncing around. It doesn't look. I don't want to say it's a nothing burger right now, but I mean, you're up a decent amount from there for sure as this gets going. But I'm guessing that there's going to be not much on this until there's more on it. I mean, do you see what I'm saying there? Like, you're going to have to wait. It's like one of those trades that we had with Elon Musk there, where you're trying to trade Twitter, and then it's like, okay, I'm into Twitter. Let's see where it goes. And then you're waiting for a tweet to come out. So, I mean, SBF still, I don't know if he's on the record saying anything. This is from Bloomberg again. I think it's from Bloomberg.
Yeah, their track record's been fantastic.
I believe they're right. So, take that for what it's worth. And I'm not going to sit here and say anything bad, about Bloomberg, and I don't think Neil is either, but you got to, take it for what it's worth. Until you actually get something out of FTX, then I'm not really sure how much strength you can hold to this, which is why I'm willing to get rid of this at 9 if it breaks lower. But hey, there's only one person who knows everything about this story, and it may or may not be Brendan Wiggins.
Just remember, guys, it's CNBC was talking about this in the pre-market this morning. So, and there's nothing that I can see that's new or in addition to what they were talking about in the pre-market. There's no evidence, as you said, that he has made a comment or anything along that note. I wanted to mention this. Coinbase on this move, though, to the downside on heavy volume. So Hood goes up, coin goes down.
Okay. All right, well, I didn't know if he was ever thinking about buying Coinbase or anything, but that might be actually better. I don't think Coinbase's market cap isn't too much higher. So, but anyway, $7 billion, definitely affordable for SBF, the 34th richest man. At least when we had him on, I'll never. Oh, here we go. We're out. So we just got less rich on that one. So now it's coming back down.
It's holding the halt price though. For now, at least.
896 was the halt price, I think. Yeah, so we'll wait to see here. It comes back down.
And splitting hairs.
Again, yeah, we're out of it, so let's see where it goes from here on that one. Meta was a good trade, man. We got out of half of this near that 20 mark, so
there it goes.
Let's see if Meta wants to go. Neil just said, there goes Hood, right? So, I thought I had to stop.
Yeah, my stop finally triggered
there. There it goes. Mine did too. So 896. So yeah, there it is right there. Yeah, mine must have been at the halt price. So there it is. 896. We're out of Robinhood. What can we do? We did take a hit there. It's petite, but hey, we're wrong on that trade. So hey, let's just wait to see. Hopefully I'll have it up. And if it halts again, then we can go over there and try to get some bids on that. So right now, coming back in.
Here's what I will say.
Yeah.
And like the halt play, it's been a while since you get one like this where it's just sort of like you take the halt and it ends up working and gives you the win. But if it were to trade lower than the breakout price, I like the breakout at 840 regardless of that what just came out. So if we see it coming back into 840 where it's consolidating, and there's a reasonable amount of time in the day because we're day trading, we can't hold it overnight. So I'm going to like it back at 840. So if we fall any further, I'm buying 40s and 50s here because that was a trade we were sitting in before all of this nonsense. And when that happens, if you liked the long before, well, then why wouldn't it make sense to go along there again? So that's what I'll wait for. But if it's like 350, I probably am not going to do that. As I said, we can't hold overnight here. AMC, while all this was going on, I'm not complaining about the Hood trade because it was positive, but I did miss an opportunity to get back into AMC, which last I checked, that's still a pretty solid trend that's putting in here. Hasn't even tested VWAP. 1380 was your chance possibly to get back in. If there's a significant push back up to 15 and then it were to fail up there, then I'm going back to the other well, which is the short GameStop. I'd rather not have to short AMC if we retest those highs. I'll just go back to the other name. So I just have that EVFM right now, which I've been hanging on to. Oh, you know what? I don't think we talked about this. Apologies. This was the It's the contraceptive company. So big spike, 22 million float, I believe. We were long this in the morning when it consolidated off this off VWAP really, at about 68 to 70 cents. I took it out at 85. I said, I'm getting out at 85 and looking for shorts. That short price was $1. The first time it sucked. The second time when it failed at 110, it was a good short and still is. But look at the strength it's showing. So even with a failed breakout at $1, look at how well it's holding the 85 level. I don't know how many times I have to see this happen before it clues in. I liked 85 for an out on the original long, 68 to 85, which is 25% oddly. And then what ends up being the support price? The same price that I'm like, oh, you take out your longs here on the breakout at 85, and then it ends up being support. So I should have gotten everything out maybe and been looking for longs off 85, but of course I'm telling you guys that I didn't. And it is what it is. Like I just had the last portion left, and I'm going to get on the bid right now because if I see 85 again, it's probably an opportunity to get into this to the long side. And I know it's up 150%, and usually I wouldn't say that. But really, just look at how strong the breakout has been. Were it to hold this level, like you can see the obvious inflection point. If it holds this, well, you can have a tight stop, 86s or 87s to 85, with a chance to get to $1. Like, I love that risk to reward. And sometimes you just go for the trade that gives you the more attractive risk to reward, as opposed to trying to pick which is the direction that allows you to be right. So, I'll get out of this one if it comes down to 85, which I should have done probably on this last 10% anyways the first time.
So just a quick update here. We are averaging to Meta. Man, Meta is violent, boy. Like, if you are not able to...
Let's see.
It's just... It rips and tanks so fast. Like, I'm out of the money. I'm like, oh my God, this is bad. And then I look right now, like back into the 90s here on this name. So let's see. Can we get an offer here, please? And thank you. Yes, sir. Bang right there as we roll the dice contract. Money. We need to do this every time, man. There it is. Another money for us right there on the average in price for Meta. Comes right back down into VWAP. We take it, man. We doubled up our position down there. So there it is. Yeah, Neil was talking, so it was hard to get involved there. But there it is. Robinhood as well. Let's go, man. I'm at 30. Let's go. Seek revenge on Robinhood. We went long $9 again on that one. So we'll make a little bit of cash here. We'll make a little bit of cash back. It's not going to be the same amount, but like, okay. Nice little out again at 30. So yeah, here we lose 50 cents, right? Or 60, 55 cents. Then we're making back about 25. So definitely, we're not like doing a roundabout celebration here. We just wanted to go back long just to see. It did dump off there at 890, so we get out if it comes back down there. But for now, I like this trade. Let's just see where we go now for Robinhood. Just protecting that $9. Like I said, until we have some sort of a definite response here, I think it's okay. And it's not like he is. I said this when he took the position. I said he is going to buy Robinhood. It's just a matter of time. So we'll see now. Maybe, he's acquired more shares down there. The opportunity is just said to be seeking a path. So I don't know exactly what that means. The path seems pretty obvious to me. Here's a letter of intent, but we'll wait to see where it goes. I like this name, but Robinhood has a little bit of work still to do here to get back to those levels. I don't think there's any interest in this until it gets to 10, so we'll see if it bumps up one more time. I'm waiting for more news to come and then a possible re-halt type of thing.
And that's always a possibility. Like if you get any kind of update, it doesn't even matter what it is, you are likely to see a sharp move in either direction. Someone just asked about AERC, and this is just as strong as some of the other breakouts that we've seen today, and it's held this 15 break very well. It got 10% from that $15 break. Just remember how far it's come. So $20 was huge resistance on AERC. Every single time it would break, it would have a capitulation back through to 18. It broke 20 again. It tries to hold above and then falls down to $17, and then it couldn't break 20 at all. So as long as this is below that 20 price, you got to figure that's your target and potential upside in any swings. I did short it off $15, but I abandoned that once it couldn't really follow through past 13 even this morning. And 15 looks like it's probably your buy point here. The problem, the reason why I won't trade this to the long side, and I'll look for AMC maybe long, maybe I can get back into Hood, or maybe that EVFM, it's a matter of volume. The volume's been dying down pretty heavily on this. It doesn't feel like there's enough interest in it, and the spread's been opening up as well. And one note about the spread, and Sean said this without saying it, but just to sort of clarify the point there on Meta, how it's been more active. Ever since the symbol change on Meta, the spread has been less tight, there's been a little bit less liquidity and more volatility. I have no explanation for why that's true because it's the same company. Nothing about it changed but the ticker. But if you were watching it when it was FB and you're watching it now, it's just a little more volatile. So adjust your trading accordingly. But it's been great if you play off these levels. I'm kicking myself. 171 from this morning. 172 was the price I liked. It's been giving you 71s, and it's been only giving you 71s for the shorts. And that's what you got to look for, apparently. So if we get there again, caveat, we're running out of time today. If we get there again, I like the 71 short on Meta. I can't wait for 72s. It's not giving you that price at any point today.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we got 71s really soon here because I'm about to get out. If we break back down below, I'm just going to go 169.50. The market is now below the 50 period. That's an indicator for me all day to get out of this name. So if this breaks back down below 169.50, we're going to get out here. But, you could see, though, on the reload, there's a lot of outs here. So we weren't trying to hold this one forever. But I don't think we'll see 150, 171 here today. If we do, hopefully it's right now because, it starts to go upside right now because we're about to break. So I am going to get out on this 150 break, which is going to happen right now. When that does break, we'll get out, and then we'll just reevaluate. There it is. We will reevaluate it. So flushed out on the last little piece, but still a great trade for me there on Meta. It was the reload there that really saved it. We got to get it back up to that 170 again. So nice little dip down. I mean, realistically, that last trade is 169.70. So that's 20 cents worth of a hit there on the last piece. So far, so good. I hope that wasn't the wick bottom. I'm actually going to buy back in there in case that was. So we'll go back in small here into Meta, small position, about 20% of what we normally would, just in case. Let's use this bottom now, 169.40 or so, 169.37 or so as our out. And again, I just didn't want to get wicked out there, so we'll take it back in, see if we can get back to 170 or so where the 50 period is. We could check back on Hood, nothing really happening. Amazon still $1.80 in the money. Wow, it touched out at 113. That's going to look bad. We should have an out down there, but we don't. So 113 down there on Amazon could have definitely been something. Maybe Brendan with some more news. What's up, Brendan?
Watching this blue hat, another former runner just popping up here, guys. BHAT, going back to last week, a big mover here popping up on volume.
I remember B-hat. He says blue hat, and I'm like, blue hat? I'm like, no, B-hat.
Yeah.
Of course it's the same thing. But that TBLT also just broke the high of the day as well. And we talked about this sort of sitting it out the first time it approached, but then it's like, well, if it consolidates in a tighter consolidation, then the breakout trade is just a little bit nicer. And that's one of those things you have to be able to adjust. Like the price action on the break always matters to me. And I like the way that this made that break. I want to hold on to at least half of it. I always try the scalp trade, and I'll go to the higher time frame there. There's your 15-minute chart. I always like the scalp trade when you get a break like that. But let's not ignore we had a lower high on Friday at about 320. So getting some out before we get to that price makes sense. And then if it can clear through that, maybe you can make a run to 350. We are running out of time in the day for a lot of these types of moves. Obviously there's a limit to when we can or how long we can hold on to it. But I want to give this a chance. And now that I've taken some out, the other option available to me is to then start to buy dips, and maybe it'll be at that $3, $2.95 area consolidation. AMC is the other that we've been looking for an opportunity to get back into. Maybe I should take that bit up. If we get another drop to 14, I'll probably look for something in the 90 range, just to see if 1380 can hold once again. We already saw it hold once. It's looking pretty good. If you're watching your GameStop and we don't hold 1380, you might not have a chance to get out if 130 breaks again. Very likely, GameStop has broken this support before AMC is really testing that 1380 support area. And that's why, play AMC for the strength as far as I'm concerned and play GameStop the other direction, because it's pretty clear which one's relatively strong and which is relatively weak. If we break 1380, I'm not shorting bottoms in GameStop, but I'll probably be stopped out of a long in AMC if we break 1380, that's for sure.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to trade. There's not a whole hell of a lot of time left, obviously, here today. So we have to be very, very careful with what we're doing here in this market with not a lot of time left. So with that being said, I am going to give Meta one shot here down to 169. So we're going to give it down here. If it holds 169, fine. If it breaks it, we're going to get out. I just don't want this to break, and then we revisit the level that I really like down here. So we kind of got in trouble here kind of diddling in the middle a little bit. I mean, this is exactly the definition of that. So again, I don't want a revenge trade. We have no LFT. It's a very good day for us here today. But Meta, again, we are getting ready to average in 169.15 or so into this kind of level here. And then if it breaks below 169, then we'll get out of the rest here on Meta. So right now, yeah, not in love with this position, as you guys will be able to see. But, you know, we do hold out hope that there is some chance here for Meta to come in, fill us a little bit lower. We don't have many shares. Like I said, it's a light position on purpose. So here it comes. Market now trying to give up the ghost a little bit. Good thing we have the Amazon short, but Meta and Hood. Hood right now back to 911. This one's just going to be exactly what I said. A shot in the dark, that there's more news to come. We already got out of 40% there. So again, not expecting this one to move too much, Hood, but nice upside move. Let's wait to see what happens down here at 911 again. So here we go. It's going to be Robinhood waiting for some news, and then Meta looking to average in down here.
And we'll do a little power up there. TVLT makes that another pusher to 320. Got to 318. I just took another leg out. I'm looking 350 for the last of this. I'm looking for an opportunity to maybe get back in at 295. We were long this is several longs here, but I want to give some credit to the guys in the midday show, because one of the things I think Luca had been saying a lot of is it's a small cap summer. Small cap summer. Think about those. And the truth of the matter is, there's some obvious times when you want to go short things, and I love going short some of these names. But then you have to look at the days where the chart is just bullish, where it makes a bullish move, and just want to participate in the long. And all you got to do is reverse your thinking. All the same types of things you look for the short, just kind of reverse the chart and think of that for the long. That's what I'm doing. I guess for most people, it's the other way around. It's like when they want to short, they think about the reversal of their long charts. For me, it's the other way. And that's why I've been basically not chasing this move, but focusing on the long side in CBLT, because once it's opened up, it's capitulated at 7 o'clock and retail came in. And when it opened up, if it doesn't break the low, there's only one place to go. And at no point did it threaten that low. In fact, it held the higher low, and the trend has been clean to the upside. Thinking 350, thinking we're sending you to Brendan with our special surprise guest.
Yeah, another one. Justin Kozach with us this afternoon to give us a preview of tomorrow morning's upcoming Day Trade the World newsletter. Day Trade the World marketing guy, Justin Kozach, back. Good to see you.
Great to see you again, Brando.
Tell me a little bit about what the great people can expect in this tomorrow.
The great people can expect the next newsletter for the Day Trade the World's opening bell coming out tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. just in time for Tony or Pratt or whoever to ring the opening bell. Tomorrow we'll be talking about day trading strategies that you can use in 2022 or whatever year it is, and 3 tips and stocks that you can trade in a recession. I think you had some advice about that one.
No.
No?
No, we wouldn't do that. Check it out, guys. Sign up. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that right now. This is DTTW.com. There it is, the website. You go up here to the right side, top right-hand corner here, blog and resources. Bottom end of that menu, click on sign up for our newsletter. That will take you to this page, the opening bell newsletter, first name and email address, and that will get you. I love how I have autofill already.
It's conveniently stored.
Yeah, I can just sign up right now for
Do
it.
it.
I think I already have.
Excellent.
Yeah, check it out, guys. Do that right now. Tomorrow morning, early, right?
Tomorrow
Pre-market.
morning, super early, I will be slaving away all night. No, I'm kidding. It's already written and ready to go. So make sure to sign up for it. Daytradetheworld.com/opening. All the latest day trading news you can shake a stick at.
Great stuff. Justin Kozach, Day Trade the World marketing guy. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Shaking sticks at, slaving away. What I love about it is just how many quick little lines you can, one-liners you can throw into a segment.
Before Justin leaves, I mean, this is the most lowest hanging fruit of all time. Why is he not ringing the opening bell tomorrow on the day that the opening bell drops?
That's so low hanging fruit that it's on the ground.
What?
I will happily ring the opening bell tomorrow morning. All right.
There we go. The people.
You got to arm wrestle Tony for it.
The people's trader and the people's producer. So there it is on the fly right now. Justin, we'll hold him to that. He will be in the building tomorrow ringing said opening bell. So thank you, Justin, for that one. And by the way, that's really picking up. I was talking to Justin about it before. Thank you to everybody right now. Really hot, a great open rate, everything. So thank you to everybody there today for all the love there with the opening bell. And yeah, that was so low hanging there that I just had to say that because, like, why not, man? Opening bell. Let's have Justin ring that bell. So there it is one more time. Okay, while he was doing that, we didn't have too much to talk about there other than the market trying to make new lows, trying to bounce off that recent bottom there. So what we did was we reloaded, and now Meta is paying us off as there it goes, back up to the upside. 169.17 long in Meta. Oh, baby. We told you we'd give that one a little bit more love. So let's get something out now on the upside as there goes Meta back to the upside. So a couple reloads. Remember, we got out. There's the reload. When you buy it at 30, then buy it again at 15. Yeah, man, you win when it goes to 40. So a nice little strong move upside right there for Meta. So let's see if that one can keep on going. Remember, we're going to get out at 169 if it breaks. The futures are now turning around to get sour again there. So we'll get some out at 38 if we can, and then a little bit more to the upside. But right now, Meta starting to make some moves here. Let's see if we can't get back to the upside here on META and Robinhood back to 930 right now.
Yeah, and we rang that register on TBLT, and thankfully, we still have a little bit left, but that 320 mark looks like we're holding that Friday lower high. This is where we anticipate the dip. This is why you take profit out, A, because you can just get right back in. But we take profit out anticipating a pullback. Now I'm looking for that $3. I'd love to get it, but just the downside of covering some of your position with the anticipation as a day trader you can get back in is there's no guarantees. Like AMC, I'm looking for this to pull back a little bit further. I have not yet seen that happen. I want 1380s, and it's not really giving me that price entry. So I might actually have to pay up a little bit and just bite the bullet, go long AMC at 14 instead of waiting for this 1380 level to come back in. But I'm just trying to play that trend here. And GameStop looks like it is giving up that 130 level, unfortunately. Brendan mentioned Coinbase went the other way when it was Robinhood 30 had that good news. It is still dying, man. I wish I had just, and I don't know why that made sense, to be honest, that it would go down when Hood went up, but it just broke and is about to test $55 on the bid here. Fresh lows, Robinhood holding up pretty well, but the other end of the Goldman Sachs upgrade downgrade party holding true today. Like the coin gets a downgrade and they're getting crushed. Robinhood gets the upgrade and they're strong. So yeah, congratulations to Goldman Sachs for today at least. Brendo?
So this is the article from Bloomberg, guys, came out just after 3 o'clock that caused this, all of this. Anyways, that is it. It's all of a paragraph in length. And as I was kind of thinking, there's not much as far as substance or detail in this. So just to confirm and show you, that's the Bloomberg article, guys.
Yeah, and you know what? I said I would wait for like 85s on this EVFM. I'm not even doing that. I'm getting out right now. I should have been out of this thing the last time it got to 85, just noticing what it was doing, and I did not. And that's a huge mistake on my part. So I'm going to try to rectify it as best I can, which is simply get out, look for the long. If it wants to give me the long, then I'll very, very gladly take it at that 85 level. But holding on to the short when the stock is this strong doesn't make any sense. If I'm shorting this, it needs to be off of $1.10 and essentially nothing else. It just doesn't make any sense to sit there. It just put another big candle on volume again, the biggest volume candle the last half an hour, and it was still in the money where I'm getting out. I didn't want to get through that. I didn't want it to get through that dollar range. I'd rather focus my attention on TBLT potential reload, AMC potential reloads. Those make a heck of a lot more sense to me than holding on to a short in a stock, which is showing you too many signs of strength in the last half an hour.
Yep, exactly. And we're doing the same thing here. First of all, Robinhood has really slowed down. It went as high as 930 there, and then basically stopped as well. So we'll have to wait for Robinhood to give us some sort of a directional play here. And then, if not, we know where our out is. And then just a reload here on Meta, just a relook here on Meta, as we're not reloading anything. Let's just see where we go now on Meta, right? So hopefully we've already targeted some targets here and gotten some out here, 40s and 50s. Again, if that comes into play, then let's do that here on META Meta, trying to make a few moves anyways, back to the upside. Remember where our out's going to be? Again, pretty obvious for that downside right now on the out, 169 flat, and I'm not going to reload it. The market is really puking, so I'm actually really surprised at how well Meta's held up here. So yeah, let's not, again, count too many chickens before they hatch, but I like the long here on Meta, and I am willing to sit in this. So let's see how high it goes up. We're going to give this about, we're long at 15, right? So we already have 1-to-1 here because our out's going to be 169 flat. It's at 169.30, so we're already printing a good risk to reward for us. But again, Meta's so violent that I can't say that enough. Like one move up here and you can get right back to 170, just like you can get dumped out here on the downside as well. So Meta trying to go. Let's wait to see where it goes from here. But I'm going to give this one back down to 169 as a trade. And then I might just get another piece out here on Robinhood. We're in the money 18 cents. We lost 50 the first time. Then we took some out at 30s. So I don't know, man. You're not in it at all. But I see you got
I'm out of it.
back into AMC.
I'm back into AMC.
That's probably a good one.
Well, we'll see. The thing about it is, like, if the market pulls back hard enough here, and the early look on the imbalances from Financial Juice looks like 328 million to the buy side.
Buy side?
So, that gives you some cover. But I like to trend in AMC, and so I'm not going to get away from it just yet. 1380 is going to be that sort of out area. So I got the long in front of 14. I'll do the scalp at 1-to-1, the same old story as before. But the other stock, I've been focusing this afternoon, I guess, on the small caps, but they've been moving, so I can't really complain about it. But that TBLT just put a wick bottom, held $3, and is trying to consolidate above that as well. So that's good enough for me to try to get back into some shares here. Of course, I'm going to say that, get on the bid at like 6s and 7s, and now it's going to probably head back toward that high. I still have a small piece of this, but I was just looking for, you get to that 320, likely to pull back because that was Friday's lower high resistance area, so it does the pullback. You have to still get back into the stock, and we are running out of time here. If I don't get a chance to add to this in the next 5 or 6 minutes, then I'm not going to add to it at all. I'll just hold what I have going into the close. And as AMC started pulling back, remember I said, it's very likely GameStop's already broken through that 130 when you're seeing if AMC is going to test and hold that 1380 area. So that's exactly what happened. And that's why you don't play this one off the support level. Like it's when you go short and then you go long in AMC because that's holding its support. GameStop giving it up here. I probably could have held on to the GameStop short. I just thought we'd hold VWAP a little bit better. It felt like the space would be a little bit more bullish than it ended up being here, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen there. So good call, though, anyways, on GameStop and on AMC, as they were both really moving around today. So hard to complain about the volatility and the trade opportunities there. Talking about a trade opportunity, here's Revlon one more time. Just been a pretty bad day for them. Straight to the downside. We got some action early on that. We talked about that, and I want to say thanks to Jason on the chat because it is nearing. I've canceled my orders now on Revlon, so that doesn't mean that, there's not more upside or downside to this name. It's just right now it's not really, it's not doing anything. It's coming to the downside. When there tends to be one meme stock versus the other, like where right now AMC has a lot of people's attention, the other ones can fail because of that reason. So some of the volume does dry up here. But again, Revlon back down to that 650 could be an area as we can look there on the 20-minute. This goes all the way back a few days that we had this level looking at 650 there for Revlon. So watch out. That's obviously an area of concern there. If anybody's in this name, just watch out where this one could go, right? Revlon does have the ability to tank here, especially into the close. Do people want to hold this trade overnight? Probably not, would be my guess for Revlon. So watch out if it takes down that 650. Obviously a little bit of a concern there for me, and it should be for you as well if you are in that name. So watch out for Revlon today, making that move back down Palantir right back to that 950 area. This was my trade of the day on Friday. It's really respected that here on the 20-minute. So, you know, we won't take it today, but this is another trade for tomorrow maybe for Palantir. Looks like the market's, let's go Facebook, baby. Looks like the market's going to try to go back up. I mean, if you think the market's going to take this 50 period, then yeah, this is going to be a good trade back up to the upside here. So yeah, maybe come on.
We got a good question there. And
go ahead, yeah.
I'm going to authorize the bald cam for a second, Lucas, because someone asked, how do we keep track of so many stocks at once? There you go. We have like you guys only get to see the one screen we share. We each have like 4 screens here, multiple charts up, multiple level 2s. I use alerts as well. I've got a quote board. We use stop orders a lot to protect against losses.
There goes Meta.
And realistically, we're not usually in more than 4 or 5 at the same time. And usually you know your entry price, you know where your stop is, you've got your take profits out there. It does come with experience, but believe me, it's not quite as crazy as it seems. And by the way, EVFM, I should have just punched long the second we got out of it. It is now running back toward the high, but sometimes the best trade you make is getting out of something or not getting into it. Like notice that it was too strong, get out of the short. Might have missed out on the long, but you know, at least it's half the battle that I'm not still sitting in that short. I just took the first scalp out there on AMC. I'd love to be able to hold this longer, but I have to take profits. We're now 15 minutes away from the close here, so you know, you got to take profits where they lie as a day trader, which means getting more aggressive, getting out the closer you get to the close. Regardless of where I think it might be going, it doesn't matter. If it makes a push to 15 at 405, it doesn't really do anything for us here. So I do have to start covering this more aggressively inside of this range. Maybe hold some in case we get that pop up to 15 even. There we go, ring the register again. I don't know, but I got to not look a gift horse in the mouth. I haven't used that one here today. It's in my contract. I got to hit it at least once.
Yeah, that's in your contract. And in my contract is also just to keep those bangers going. So look at that money here. And there goes Meta again. We told you about respecting that 169. We're long at 169.15. So right now, you're 40 cents in the money, almost a 3-to-1 risk to reward. So we took off another piece right there. Right now, what price is that exactly? That price was just before VWAP. As you're consolidating VWAP and the 50 period. So there it is, 169.57. So yeah, the R to R strong with this one right now as we're trying to go back up to the upside right now on Meta. My next offer's in the 70s, just because. So hopefully that'll come back up now, and there it goes. We are now $2 in the money. If we take this at 113.50, 113.50, alert. Let's hit that alert because I know a lot of you are following me on Amazon, and thank you so much for all the love as well on Twitter. But right now, there goes Amazon, 113.50. I'm just putting the order in right now. Cross it to 113.51, and then we'll get out of Amazon. So putting that stop order in right now, hopefully it will respect it, and we won't have to worry. But now, if it goes back up to the upside on the futures now bumping, wow, this Meta is really working out for us here. 70, there it is. Yes, sir, let's go. WTF, Meta, man. We gave you the fire on this trade. I even went over to Brad. He's like, are you long Apple? I'm like, forget about that. Let's scratch that and go to Meta. So there's Meta, nice little move to the upside here one more time. So we have a $2 in the money on Amazon, 60 cents in the money on Meta, 30 cents in the money on Robinhood, as it's right there at a nice little level as well. So yeah, let's just keep this party going. We will be out of Amazon very shortly though, guys. So watch out, 113.50 again on AMZN. But yeah, this party's going and we're here, man. Hosted by Trader TV Sean. The money just keeps on coming through. Neil's crapping out on AMC. You had that short there. I think it was
short. I had no shorts on AMC. GameStop was the short.
GameStop was the short.
GameStop was the short. We had to get out of that one, but I don't like.
I was only saying that because AMC went down to 14 again.
Exactly, but I'm long 14.04.
Okay, good. So you're long.
But what's the important thing here is, remember I said it was a buy imbalance? What I didn't say was, and I apologize for this, is the NASDAQ bouncing off 12,000. So indicated small buy imbalance as the market's bouncing off a significant low.
I didn't realize the time.
And it's 3:45, and that was, if I had put that 2 and 2 together, there was small buy imbalance into a market that was coming down and bouncing off a level. There was probably a futures long off 1,200 just now. Now that's 50 points away, so I don't know that I would put that trade on now. Prad's saying he was actually looking for that trade, which was 1,200 is your bottom on the queue. You get a small buy imbalance. Maybe you just take the long with a 1,200 stop. And the other way to play it, of course, is go long one of the equities that might follow it. But I forgot about that 1,200 level. Bit of a mistake there. Robinhood, like I said, I trailed out of it, but it's right back to that 950 for whatever reason. You have these crazy wicks up and down. Yes, it got to 970 on the reopen all the way down to 9, but the bulk of the volume happened between 935 and 950. If you were watching the stock, it was like 80% of the volume happened right in here in that pocket, and I think that's why it's starting to turn around there. Do not ignore that. When you have a liquidity vacuum where there is price acceptance on the reopen, there is almost always resistance or support when it gets back to that price. So it's hard to be able to see this unless you were executing there, but exactly where it opened up and then held for a couple of minutes. If you're watching level 2, significant level there on Robinhood. That's why it's starting to pull back off that level just now. So I'm only in AMC and TBLT. I'm unlikely to take any other trades. These are pretty binary. They either run to the high of the day or break support. My stop, instead of being at 3, I'm going to throw a 295 on TBLT and then tighten it up as we get to 350.
All right. Yes. Okay. So, oh man. Yeah, Robinhood. Like you mentioned, I'm going to take that advice. Neil just mentioned like 935-ish. So I'm going to take that advice. It just went to 930. I took another piece out. We'll take another piece at 935. Here it comes. Come on. Give me that 935 if we can get it. We are on a paid gateway, so it's going to have to rip through us to get that trade, but we should be able to get it. So we'll wait for 935 to come through here on Robinhood to make some money back. We are long right now at 906. But again, you know, not like celebrating this one because we were long up there. It will be net negative trade for us, but it's looking a hell of a lot better than it did before we had this trade. So right now, that's going to be a good one for us. Let's see where we go on Robinhood. There it is, 935. Just got that one out, so she shoots, she scores. Oh, congratulations. We didn't even talk about this yet. The Colorado Avalanche wins their 3rd Stanley Cup, which is amazing.
Why do we hate on them? Why? Pratt
doesn't like
Nazem
Kadri. He doesn't like Kadri.
He doesn't like Kadri?
Oh, he had money on Tampa.
He had money on Tampa, that's why. I like Nazem Kadri. You're former
Maple Leaf.
Former Toronto Maple Leaf. I'm always happy to see guys succeed.
Pretty dirty player, but definitely nice to get the cup there.
No, good for him, man.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah, we want
he never found his way for Toronto. He was a highly touted prospect for Toronto, and he caught a lot of crap for that because there's a lot of pressure playing for Toronto. It's like the Yankees. If you don't follow hockey, it's like playing for the Yankees in baseball or playing for the Dallas. I just said Dallas Cowboys. I shouldn't have said Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's fine. There's
a
lot of pressure
on those
like
the Cowboys.
Yeah.
1 minute till the imbalances. I'm only in 2 stocks, and both of them I have pretty obvious stops on, so I'll just have the locator up and be locked and loaded, ready to go. There's all these crazy warrant ones from this morning that are there, but 350, you'll see this come through. We're looking at a small early indicated buy imbalance, but only 300 million or so, which is tiny, guys. That's pretty insignificant. It doesn't mean it has to come out of buy, but early indications. And we did bounce off support as well in the overall futures. Let's come on, AMC. Like, give me one more push. I'd love to see 1450s, but we are running out of time here.
Yeah, let's wait to see. I'm just going to get this ready. And yeah, congratulations again, Avalanche, man. I mean, always nice to win the cup. Like here in Toronto, we have no idea what that feels like. It hasn't been anything even close.
Unless you're really old.
Yeah, since I've been born. So yeah, shout out to Maple Leaf and Leaf Nation. Let's get our shit right heading into next year. Look, we lost to Tampa Bay in 7. I mean, it's, you know, like, nothing wrong with that. So I'm pretty proud of the Leafs, but again, congratulations there. Oh, there it is. The imbalances are now out. So Cisco, what? Cisco with a sell? Okay.
Carnival's 1.8 sell, Apple 1.5 sell.
Yeah, they're all right here. I got them all. So yeah, Cisco's right there, 2.37 with a sell order right now to the downside. Look at that gap. So Cisco was 43.70, gap down 10 cents there. Apple with the sell. I mean, it's not going to be good for Meta. I don't even see it on here, but the market's coming down. Intel, look at this. Look at the sell on Apple created there. 141.50 down to 141 flat. Another 50 cents worth of a move down there on Apple. So yeah, the market looks like it wants to give back a little bit here. So really no surprise, but at the same time, these are the imbalances, and this is what they do every day. So some big NASDAQ names on here, man. Yeah, sending this reeling. The NASDAQ now down back to 12,000, giving us that chance to reload this bottom if you liked it.
Yeah, and Carnival, I mean, not a huge wick, but only about 5%. It's actually down 2.5% on the day. Disney was another one of those ones over 1 million shares. That had a pretty significant rejection of VWAP right there. So, you know, Disney under pressure all afternoon. This would actually give you an opportunity. If you were short off these levels, sometimes you just carry that with a stop at like 96.75, the previous high. If it comes out of buy, you already have a stop. If you're in the short, you know, obviously it comes out of sell, and then you're just in the money instantly, and you would have had an obvious stop area. I wasn't watching Disney, so there's zero chance I would put that trade on. that across the board sell imbalance is probably just going to get me out on this consolidation right here in AMC. It's not going anywhere. We're just hanging out at 1430. The reload at 14 worked, but it didn't follow through to the high of the day. And it's the same thing with TBLT here. Good long pretty much all day long. The break only got you to 320. Now it's trying to hold 3, and I got 305 on a reload, and it's barely holding 3 even. My stop is now at 3 instead of 295. Running out of time for this to work out for me, obviously. So, a bit unfortunate here. Maybe the market not helping us out with that bit of a turnaround and heading back toward those lows. So I don't think I'll be in anything else here. All the longs likely coming out as we speak. 1,200 on the bid of the NASDAQ.
Yeah, 12,000.
Oh, sorry, 12,000.
Good enough, doesn't matter. Yeah, same difference. But yeah, okay, so just so you guys know here, we did get out of Robinhood at 940. If this turns out to a loser, then we're gone. So you got to break through 905 and we're out of Robinhood. What's up, Brendan?
Sean, you were talking about the idea of an average price for SBF when it comes to Robinhood. Was just reading a bit of a note here, or an update, I guess, to this story. This is going back to March. So apparently he disclosed at the start of March in an SEC filing that he owns 56 million shares, which he purchased for more than 648 million. Now, that doesn't actually say he bought them in March, but the average price, I mean, even if you go from April to March, he's definitely underwater still, guys.
Can we do that math? What was it? 56 divided by whatever. What did he say? There's 600 million he spent. So I don't know. My math seems about $10.
Yeah, that's like 10. You mean
a little bit less? I don't know. I missed those prices.
But that actually that makes sense because one of the things we were pointing out was how much time. If you look at how has this consolidated on the daily chart, right? It spent so much time bouncing off 10 and then just sort of whipsawing back and forth at 10. And if you look at it in a downward trend, if it spent that much time clawing back and forth at 10. It does indicate that there were some people accumulating shares at that $10 price, and that's why you'd find support when it would go down below that price. So, whatever. It matters. I don't know how much it matters his average price, because if you look at how far this stock has come down, really, in terms of potential as to where it can go, if you think there's a bit of a turnaround here, given their clientele, I mean, $10, $9, it's not gonna matter too much, I don't think. But I'm more interested to see if he's added to his position in the next up and coming weeks here. That or some kind of an update directly from him. That'll make sense to me. Unfortunately, we are now out of TBLT. Does not hold up. Sometimes, you can have a great trend, but at the end of the day, the last time you take it, eventually it's going to give it up for you, right? They keep going back to the well. Eventually the well breaks. So TBLT will end on a losing trade, 305. Just got out when it broke 3 even.
Yeah, we're going to get out. The same thing happening right now. Did Meta actually break, or what happened there? We got out at 169 flat, so I guess did it? I guess it must have broke there to 168.85. Okay, so out. We lose 15 cents on that last Meta trade. But again, we had literally 10% left. Like, look at all these outs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, I don't know, we only had 10%. So out there, as now it's coming back up. So if you still have it, you could get out, man. It's 169.15. I told you, these imbalances never work in my favor. So whatever I have, you just go the other way on that one. So, and then there goes Robinhood out as well. So, hey, only 5 minutes left. We ain't got anything left right now. We can have a quick look again on the imbalances here. ATUS. I'm going to guess, did you say CCL was on here? There's CCL. Oops. That's VIPS. VIPS was another name that, let's check out VIPS for a second here. This was another name that, okay, that's down 4%. I was going to say Michael Noss talked about buying VIPS as well. Remember, that was a clothing store there for China, I believe. The higher end European fashion, I thought it was anyways. CCL today, nice day for CCL with the volume up to 50 million shares. But again, my chart's not loading, so I can't see where we are. But there you go, down 3%. Hopefully you guys have hit the like button. This is our third show of the day.
We haven't hit 1,000.
Okay,
I was about to say we have not hit 1,000. You got Pratt celebrating. I'm out of breath. I'm definitely out of breath. It's been a crazy one, but there's been so many opportunities. And guess what? We have a few earnings to get to, which we're also going to give you some ideas on as well. Brendan, only a couple of big names, but we got to take a look because one's pretty big.
Definitely, yeah. We'll make it official here, guys. Obviously not in earnings reporting season right now, but still big name front and center for tonight, guys.
Nike, Trip.com, whatever. I think it's going to be all about Nike. The retail names have been just huge on earnings. Now, not always to the upside, but that doesn't matter. We trade for volatility here. You've got a huge pivot point at the 50-period moving average, which is 117 and a half on Nike. And that's going to be an obvious place you can fade off over a breakout in either direction. I care about what they say about China. And even if we head downside, even if we hold below that 117 on the 50-period, you're going to still have the $100 level to play off of, which has been absolute gold at 104, 105 at Nike, bouncing off that. So regardless, this is one to trade. If you're not watching it, then you're probably going to miss out on a trading opportunity, despite the fact that it's not a stock that you're going to trade every day as a day trade. Earnings come around, key levels, we'll be all over it.
All right. I think Maggie was going to ring the bell, which probably people want. But I think we've got terrific Tony somewhere. I thought I just saw him there. We will see what's going on with that one. He's there. Okay. Yeah, just to review Nike right now. We have 120 coming there. Yeah, tomorrow. I won't be here tomorrow, but it'll be Tuesdays with Tony coming through tomorrow. So that should be a lot of fun as well. Nike stores are packed at the mall. Look, there's nothing wrong with doing channel checks, man. I mean, I'm buying Nikes. I got my kid another pair. I'm on their website pretty much every single day. So shout out to all you sneakerheads out there as well. But there's just more than just sneakers for Nike. Obviously, they have all the clothing and everything like that. I thought you were hitting the clothes, and I was like, oh, don't do it yet.
No, I'm reminding myself.
Still 2 minutes.
I finally moved the countdown button. So
mine's always in the middle.
It's not next to my cough button. So when I go to sneeze, I'm not putting the countdown.
Hit it by accident?
So yeah, I've moved it. I'm just mentally not, getting it lined up in the right spot. Tony's going to be on the bell. It should be a lot of fun. We get a room tomorrow, so I'll be joining in with the room on Tony Tuesday. Of course, it's graduation.
Yes.
That you have to see tomorrow. So you can't miss those. You can't miss those things, man. They're too important.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would miss it, but like you said,
no, you wouldn't.
Nah, I mean, I like to. I'm going to miss trading, that's for sure. But yeah, Grandma's going to be there. Everyone's going to be there. My brother, everything. So it should be real fun for the kids. But yeah, I'll miss trading and I'll miss being here for sure. But there's another day. I'll be here on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, next Monday after that. No, Monday after that I think is the 4th.
Oh, that's right. It's
so
next Monday is a holiday.
Yeah, so we're not taking, even though we are here in lovely Toronto, Ontario, Canada, we'll hit that right now. We will be trading on Canada Day, so forget about that holiday. But we will be also off, of course, on July the 4th. So, and we'll say happy, 4th when that happens.
You know what I heard? Someone said a line. I have no idea. I got to go back check this because someone said don't bet against America on America's day. So I don't know the performance, but I don't know.
What is the best American stock?
But is it Friday that you say that because you traded on the Friday before, or is it like the Tuesday after?
To me,
I'm thinking it's a Friday. It should be an up day.
I mean, that's the people that are saying that. Like,
you guys tell us.
I feel like if you're not going to bet against America, then you want to be buying retail stocks because
that makes sense. Like
Americans out there buying not just Walmart, but just that's what America.
I own Walmart.
Yeah, that's Not that America, just that America's a very consumption heavy, just like we are here in Canada as well. Fix the mic. Okay, 20 seconds to go here as we're getting ready to rock and roll. Google might be the most American. Oh, DWAC? Not DWAC.
Google.
I don't know. Google.
Okay.
They're all Microsoft. I mean, these are all great American companies. With only 7 seconds left, 6, 5. There he is. It's Tony. He's on the ones and twos. 3, 2, and 1. And that's it. A nice little rebound there for Facebook, aka Meta at the close. Yep. Robinhood, same type of thing. But Amazon, check back on that. Yeah, good bottom for Amazon. 113.30 as well on the close. So all is well, man. We really shorted that one today and took a lot of money out of Amazon. My number one stock, though, Meta, followed by Amazon, then AMD, so on and so forth. Brendan, I hope your Google's working over there and we can recap how the market wound up going.
It was a small cap kind of Monday, guys. Here we go. It was the Russell 2000, 0.5% to the upside there, where everything else pretty much outside of the composite, the overall index was down on the day. A full percent for the NASDAQ 100, a full percent almost for the composite there, 0.8 for the NASDAQ composite, as I said, 0.2, 0.3. But yeah, small cap kind of Monday, guys.
And apparently a good day in Brazil and Canada.
Yeah, what's oil? Oil up 2% to 109, 110 almost close right now.
Yeah, but that's probably why Canada did well, Brazil did well. Although the other day Brazil was down on an oil up day, which didn't
Was
make it.
Canada up there? I didn't even notice.
I thought I saw 1%.
Okay,
Oh, Canada.
okay, good.
Lots of good suggestions for like what America's company is. I just kind of figured that
what was
the
a
easy
good-
thing to do would just be thinking the market would go up that day. But I see McDonald's was an example. People said
Oh, yeah,
Apple as
yeah,
well.
yeah. McDonald's is-
Coke or Coke makes some sense to me. I could
Ford,
see that.
yeah,
but-
the big automotive, yeah, GM and Ford, that's pretty solidly American. But my point about that is that retail, right? I mean, if the Americans are going to be strong and the American market's going to be strong, it is going to have to be retail as well. But I like that McDonald's call for sure. But yeah, okay. A great show again today. We have the trade of the day is going to be AMC, so watch out for that. See how that was traded early. It did have some moves, obviously, after that. So up to 1480 or so today for AMC. Brendan's got something again. What up?
Looks like a statement, guys, from FTX to TechCrunch. We are excited about Robinhood's business prospects and potential ways we could partner with them. That being said, there are no active M&A conversations with Robinhood currently from FTX and SBF and FTX, guys.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
I mean, sub 9 now on that. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes tomorrow.
But you know what's still above that breakout price? Like that 840 where it broke out, it's still above that. So we can play off that level tomorrow.
Maybe you can get Arun to pay for shorts and actively trade Robinhood tomorrow.
You know what? To be honest, what I should do, because I can do this, by the way. You know, you can do it too. Is just process the pay for short for him, and be like, you already have it, bro, and you've already paid for it because I put it in.
I just think out of principle, we'll see. I don't want to say he's going to trade something or not trade it, but Arun's here tomorrow. I won't be, but it'll be a great show.
He'll trade Hood.
Hoodwinked. I like that, Schwab there. Hoodwinked. I like that. Good joke there. Dad jokes there as you go there.
That's better than a dad joke.
Wink right there. That's just a good overall joke there. Okay, thanks Trader Joe. Thanks to everybody today. Thanks to Bears vs. Bulls, a great job. Thanks to Justin for coming through. Thanks to Frank from the Small Exchange as well for coming through. Thanks to Lucas for basically switching all day. Thanks to Rob, who was also on the ones and twos there. Thanks to Maggie. I mean, every day we can thank Maggie. That's always working hard behind the scenes as well. Katrine and Liz there for you. And then our midday monsters over there, not there right now. But thank you to Prad, Ian, and Luca running the midday show. Thanks to Tony for ringing the bell. And tomorrow's another day, man. 8:30. It should be a great one. So sleep well. Nike earnings are on tap. So get ready for that. We'll see those tomorrow morning. Until then, 8:30. Have a great night from everybody here at Trader TV Live. We'll catch you tomorrow. Ciao.